found TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. In just a few minutes, we'll be right with you with another award-winning, action-packed edition of your Tony Basilio Show. You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio Show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. In just a few minutes, we'll be right with you with another award-winning, action-packed edition of your Tony Basilio Show. You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio Show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKG in Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
I fired this thing up. I focused this thing, and I prepare this thing. John Adams is in the house. Presented by the great Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. Don't you dare buy or sell a house without her involved in the process. She is absolutely, without a doubt, 100% next level, and this portal thing is a total mess, and it's getting on my last nerve. Tennessee yesterday, I thought they were kind of like gigging Lane Kiffin and having some fun and driving up the price for a quarterback. Sam Levitt, I didn't want that guy. No offense to him. I'm sure he'll come in here and torch Tennessee and everything else, and I mean, it all falls in my face anyway, but and in our faces. But in the meantime, the guy they had basically settled on, Prabula, for better or for worse, he gets here's the story. He just kind of gets, that's how you're going to do me. Don't do me like that, Tom Petty. He goes to Virginia while they're still fooling around with Prabula. John, how do you plead to that based on what we know about this? And is that at all possible?
Yeah, well, strange stuff happens, and maybe Tennessee will get lucky again. Tennessee got really lucky with the Nico Yamaleava departure last year, getting Joey Aguilar. I mean, come on, that was a Hail Mary, really. So maybe we'll get lucky again. On the way over here, I was rushing to get over here, and I noticed a guy in front of the Dollar General threw a wad of paper or a bottle or something into a dumpster right on the money. And I pulled in and say, hey, you play any quarterback? Mike can make some money around here.
Hey, John, that might be what this thing comes to. Stay tuned. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. That might be what this thing comes to, John.
Maybe you should have tryouts. And now you got to wonder, too, now about the quarterbacks that Tennessee has.
Yeah.
George McIntyre, the redshirt freshman to be, and the 5-star recruit, Faison Brandon, they might be saying, well, wait a minute. They're trying to bring in an experienced quarterback to start ahead of us, but how far down are they going?
Hey, Dixon, I'd put my blog to bed last night, basically around, 10 o'clock-ish, 10:15-ish. And I get a call on this Prabula thing from somebody sort of in the middle of it who says, man, this is like just a mess. But what in the portal isn't a mess, Matt? And then the second thing, Matt, is were you all that turned on by the concept of Bo Prabula in their offense? Because I don't get that at all. I don't get Bo Prabula, Matt. Do you?
No, not unless Josh Heupel thinks they can unlock something for his passing game, because his numbers in SEC play were really bad throwing the ball. I think he had like 7 interceptions and 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
They just were not very good. And granted, it's a run-heavy offense in Missouri, but he didn't show that, at least in games, that he could be the passing threat that you have to be in this offense.
So you're
really good running quarterback.
Oh, great running quarterback. I think they felt like or thought that they could get something out of him. I mean, they had pretty much they were surprised last night when he jumped to Virginia out from under them. But let me bring the great Russell Smith in now. Dubsy in the afternoon here at Fan Run Radio, holding it down, breaking it down scientifically, moving right to left across your device, as it were. Dubsy, how we doing?
Doing pretty good, Tone. Just wondering at this point, does Tennessee turn to John Adams for quarterback help?
Well, John said he saw a guy today that might have some eligibility remaining back behind one of the dumpsters.
At the Dollar General.
At the Dollar General that looked like he had a great arm. So,
Beggars can't be choosers, I suppose.
Dubsy, what was your thought on Bo Prabula as he came across your radar, and what's your thoughts on this turn of events here as he's wiggled out of their arms and into the arms of Virginia?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like Matt. I didn't really see the appeal of a guy who is known more as a runner than a thrower. It seems like Josh Heupel offense always thrives when you have an accurate downfield passer, and that wasn't really Prabula's MO this season. So, I mean, it's getting to be slim pickings right now. You wonder if there's somebody they can coax into the portal at another school. Right now, I'd be tampering my rear end off if I were Josh Heupel and Joey Halsley.
John, who's your guy? Who should they talk? We keep hearing this guy about this Utah kid that people say is available. Would you fool with him if you were them?
Well, yeah, I'd fool with the guy out behind the Dollar General throwing a water bottle in the dumpster. But I'm not as down on Bo Prabula as you guys are. I watched him complete 30 of 39 passes against Kansas. Missouri didn't have a great receiving core this year. And it doesn't really throw the ball downfield. His first pass for Missouri was a 51-yard touchdown pass. Also, the fact that he was at Penn State, Tennessee's defensive coordinator now, Jim Knowles, of course, from Penn State.
Had to have seen him.
He had to have seen him,
right.
And I think they believed he was.
No, he wouldn't have seen him. He was at Ohio State that year.
Well,
but
he
prepared for him. You're right. You're right about that because Prabula played.
Yes.
So did he play against Ohio State?
He had to work.
Look that up.
Yes.
That's a good point, John.
So I think Bo Prabula would have been a good option for Tennessee at this point. I really do.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this. The thing is, they'll arrive at somebody, and maybe he gets lucky again, Matt, right? Would you fool with the Dan Pierre guy from Utah if you could get him? Would he fit?
I mean, he's a runner first as well.
I know.
Just like Beulah.
I know.
So I mean, you got to find somebody. There's somebody out there. I mean, maybe there's somebody that's committed to one of these schools but hadn't actually signed anything yet that you can go back and go after. Who knows?
Apparently, guys, they tried to throw
like the Kennesaw State quarterback. I think he committed to Syracuse.
I like him.
He ran Heupel's offense down there with Jerry Mack and a longtime Heupel assistant.
Apparently,
trying to think of because you have to have a third quarterback regardless of how good they are, whether they're starter quality or not.
They tried to throw crazy money last night. I thought it was kind of a ruse, and then they really tried to throw crazy money at this kid from Arizona State last night. Personally, I'm glad they didn't get him, Russell. I don't know about you, Dubsy. I'm glad they didn't get the guy.
I mean, it would have been a gamble. Worst case scenario is you get that guy in here. Everybody says he's not going to be able to go through spring practice. So when is he going to be available? And when he is available, how much of his athleticism is he going to have lost? There's no way he's going to be the same player he was before. Maybe he gets to that eventually, but it's a gamble that I'm, glad that LSU's taking instead of Tennessee, quite frankly.
Dubsy, I love you.
Feeling is mutual, my friend.
Yeah, you're going to be today. Tell me about it, where you're going to be as a prelude up to the home basketball game. And I want to encourage people to get out and see Dubsy today.
Oh, I've been looking forward to it since I woke up, Tony, getting one of those fresh pizzas from Smoky Mountain Brewery.
Let's go!
In Turkey Creek. Oh, man. I'll be ready to go and pig out tonight after the show.
What's incredible about Smoky Mountain Brewery's pizza is how light that crust is.
Oh,
I've talked it over with the great Mike Chase down through I'm like, how do you do that? And he said, I'm not telling you. But it's got this airiness to it. There's this airiness to that crust where you can't just eat one piece. You can't just eat two pieces. You got to go for it, man. You got to put your head down and not take a breath.
I'm putting one of those down by myself today, so don't get your hands near my mouth. But, yeah, we'll be down there actually starting at 1 o'clock. As soon as you're done, William Patterson's going to be doing his thing.
Beautiful.
Down there live from 1 to 3, and then we'll be there from 3 to 6, get off the air, have a little dinner, and watch the Vols play a little buckyball.
So, yeah, and Griffin will be by next hour, the great Mark Griffin, with his yet unnamed segment on here. But, yeah, Tennessee gets buckyball tonight and all its gimmickry and wondery. But, Dubsy, are we worried about this quarterback chase, or is it what it is at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to be worried. The thing that's stunning about it is they've done so well at every other position. They've filled all their needs and then some defensively. They've gotten their offensive linemen. I'm sure they'll find somebody to come help out at running back, but they've done so well. It's just the one position that happens to be the most important position and the most glaring need that they can't find anybody who wants the job. So that's kind of perplexing to me.
Matt, are you surprised by it?
I mean, somewhat, but there's also some things you could negative recruit against Tennessee for. You could hang Aguilar out, that they're trying to get him back. I mean, you signed a 5-star high school quarterback. So, but I'm surprised it doesn't seem like they had kind of those plans, like backup plans in place, and they're kind of scrambling at this point, which reminds me of what Jeremy Pruitt did when he first got here. He went after all these 5-star guys and whiffed on all of them and had no backup plan.
Great analogy.
So it is interesting it should be an attractive spot to be Tennessee's quarterback, but it's I don't know. It's just weird times.
John, are you surprised by it? Just that we're here.
Well, I think Tennessee has done really well with the other acquisitions in the portal.
Yep.
I still don't know if this is going to be a really good defense. But I think it could be better than it was this past season. But, I mean, Penn State, you're getting all these guys from Penn State.
Yeah.
How many points did UCLA score on Penn State's
John,
defense?
stop it. That was coming off that Oregon game. Come on, man. That team unplugged. Stop. Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, you can go.
I mean, really.
Well,
man.
okay, you're big. Oh, so that's no big deal.
No, it's no big deal.
But you guys are all being so picky about these quarterbacks. Are you kidding me? Well, maybe Sam Levitt won't be as good as he was before the injury, and he won't go through spring ball. Well, Aguilar didn't go through spring ball. He ranked in the top 10 nationally in passing yardage.
Sam Levitt is coming off an injury where there's no guarantees, and I wouldn't have done it.
So why was Tennessee trying so hard to get him? Why was everybody else? Why was Miami trying to get him? Why was Lane Kiffin determined to get him?
I'm glad we didn't get him. Dubsy, do you stand with me on that? I'm glad we didn't get that guy. I'm taking a stand right now. I'm glad we didn't get that guy, Dubsy.
I'm not saying I'm glad or not glad. I'm just saying it's a high risk, high reward scenario. And if you spent $7 million on a quarterback and he can't play next year, people are going to. I mean, you're going to get fired if you're Josh Heupel.
That's exactly what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen. If this guy's not careful, he's going to play around and get himself fired. That's the thing I don't understand about it. You know you have a hard schedule. You know you have a hard schedule, man. You know in this economy you don't get, mulligan years unless you communicate with the fans and you say, hey, look, we got a hard schedule this year. We're going to get our 2 kids ready, which I'm not so sure right now. That wouldn't be the best route to take.
You can't do that in your – good gosh. At this point, in this era, no. You got to be ready to go right away. This is – rebuilding is a thing of the past. Developing, getting ready for the for 2027? Is that your slogan now?
Russell W. Smith,
27 could be heaven?
Why not? Russell, you're at Smoky Mountain Brewery today, Turkey Creek. So, folks, as they're on their way into town, like the Ken Millers of the world, stop off and see Russell. Go out there and eat some dinner with him or eat some lunch, talk some sports with William Pattison. But get on out there today. We're going to have some swag given away, all kinds of great stuff. Dubsy, anything else you'd care to add? You've been incredible.
No, thanks for the time, Tony. Look forward to seeing everybody out there tonight. Smoky Mountain Brewery, Parkside Drive, Turkey Creek, right next to Calhoun's. We'll be broadcasting there from 1 until 6 p.m. And who knows, maybe we'll have a new quarterback name to throw at you this afternoon.
G to the B to the O. Thank you, Dubsy. And get out and see him. It's incredible. The great Russell Smith. We come back on the other side. Kevin Skarbinski. Hey, look, we're not the only one feeling the pain today. That's the good news. That's the good news here.
Misery loves company.
And I love that Alabama's in some serious pain today. They've never felt the pain the way they're feeling the pain right now. Longtime mainstay across the state of Alabama, Kevin Skarbinski will give it to us straight. Because, look, one thing I've learned around here is you got to keep your cup on full time. You got to keep your cup on here.
Tony, you actually holding up a cup?
Tennessee Orange cup, not just any cup.
Uh-huh.
Bino painted this especially for me. I'll have you know.
He painted it?
Painted it. Made it for me. Look at it.
It's very
it's an
well.
athletic supporter.
I know what it is.
And PMS3.
What?
That's their color. PMS3. And we come back on the other side and bring her on back on the other side. Let's go! On the other side, Kevin Skarbinski. Alabama's in misery after this.
When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Start the new year with comfort and savings from Pipe Wrench Home Services. Tired of high energy bills and constant heating and AC repairs? Ready for a more efficient home? There's never been a better time to upgrade your comfort and take control of your energy costs. Upgrade your HVAC system now with Pipe Wrench Home Services and make no payments until 2027. A new energy-efficient system means lower bills, fewer breakdowns, and peace of mind for years to come. And with Pipe Wrench Home Services same-day service guarantee, you won't wait to start enjoying a more comfortable home. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Upgrade your HVAC system now with Pipe Wrench Home Services and make no payments until 2027. Schedule your free estimate today at pipewrench.com. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Offer good with approved credit. Some restrictions apply. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall, the best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience, Alumni Hall. Tony B back with you, 865-200-5402 as we welcome you back. This is your Tony Basilio show. It's a Tuesday. John Adams presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. Kevin Skarbinski now joins us on our Newsmaker hotline. Matt Dixon's in the house along with Brian Hartman. Wow, we have a lot going on today. Kevin Skarbinski, Birmingham News, Scarbo Knows YouTube. He's got several other things going on. I'll let him tell you about them. But he's a media personality for the ages. We were just talking off the air. That the last time we saw the Tide on the field, Kev, that was, and a lot of people are saying this, the Oregon people are saying, we have so much money, they ripped us apart like we weren't even there. I mean, this, what Indiana has done has sped everybody's clock up and has screwed up everybody's expectations, Kev, as I welcome you in. What was that like, seeing that, Kev?
Hey, it was almost as if you couldn't believe what you were seeing. You know, Alabama obviously had struggled at times this year. They got run out of the stadium in Atlanta in the SEC championship game, but they were really banged up in that game. But that wasn't the case in the Rose Bowl. They were as healthy as they've been in a long time, and to see Indiana slowly, because if you remember the game, they didn't come out of the box like they did against Oregon. They just slowly
tighten their grip on Alabama, and it was that boa constrictor feeling, the same kind of thing that Nick Saban's Alabama used to do to everyone early in his tenure at Alabama. They changed their philosophy over time, but go back to 2008, 2009, 10, 11, 12, in that range, and they won 3 out of 4 national championships in 9, 11, and 12. And that's the way they played. The phrase, I wish I could afford it, I wish I'd come up with it, but the phrase that described it was joyless murder ball. And it was inevitable. You knew it was coming. You couldn't stop it. The difference with Indiana is Fernando Mendoza may be the most relentlessly positive human being on the face of the earth, and that contrasts with Curt Cignetti's curmudgeon, the scowl, the raised eyebrow, very much Nick Saban-like in his demeanor. But I'm starting to believe, for the longest time I thought Kirby Smart was the most Saban-like of Saban's disciples. I'm starting to think Curt Cignetti may be more like Saban than anyone, including Kirby.
Well, the crazy thing about, and I was talking to somebody about the portal last night, Indiana immediately goes out and gets their quarterback. Indiana immediately goes out and gets receiver help to replace who they have. I mean, it's like instantaneous. It's like boom, boom. We're going right back in. This is what we're doing. This is our plan. We've got our plan. And then I was talking with an agent right couple days after the portal opened, and he said agents are giving this guy a discount to get their kids in that program because they're developing, they're growing, and he's making pros out of these people. So, and they're winning at a very high clip. So, I guess they're smoking hot, Kev. I just can't believe we're saying this about Indiana football.
Well, here's something to keep in mind about Cignetti. The career path that he chose, leaving Alabama to become the head coach at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, he basically went into the backwoods of college football and learned his craft as a head coach, incorporated things from his dad, who was a very successful head coach, from Saban, obviously, and figured out how to be a head coach, made mistakes when no one was watching or a very small crowd was watching at smaller schools. And so when he got that opportunity at Indiana, he already had a plan, a philosophy, and part of that is he doesn't look down on you as a player because you played at Division II or James Madison or a school like that. Look at all the fans. I know this is happening with Alabama fans. They freak out when they get someone in the transfer portal who's not from a brand name school. If you get someone from a Mercer or someone like that, you think, well, oh my gosh, we have downgraded. That guy can't play. Are you watching Indiana? Do you see the pedigrees of these guys? There aren't a lot of blue bloods that came into that program or players from blue blood programs that came into Bloomington along with Cignetti, 13 guys from James Madison. And you hit on a word earlier that it was something that Nick Saban never got enough credit for because he was recruiting the best of the best, the elite of the elite in terms of talent coming out of high school, but he was developing guys. And guys were willing to wait their turn. They were willing to work hard. And they knew if they did that, eventually it would pay off. There was a delayed gratification, and we can joke and laugh about what they got on the front end, and the Dodge Chargers were real, and maybe the registrations weren't in every case. But those guys were developing, and they knew the payoff was going to be in the NFL. They were going to compete for championships, and they were going to become the best football players they could be with some of the best assistant coaches in the country. And eventually, they were going to earn big money in the NFL. And it happened time and time again. It became an assembly line. Well, Cignetti's doing it, bringing in guys that weren't 5 stars, that weren't 4 stars, that weren't wanted by the Georgias, the Alabamas of the world. But he is a keen eye for talent. That's why Saban made him recruiting coordinator when he first started that staff in Tuscaloosa, because he has a keen eye for talent and ability. And I love his mantra, passion over potential. That is something that a lot of coaches in any sport could learn from.
Say that again. What's the mantra? Something over potential?
Production over potential. Wow. And that's why, for everybody who's complaining, oh my gosh, they're old, they're going to be collecting Social Security in a few years. You know what? Every program in America has the same opportunity in the same transfer portal to bring in guys that have more experience but lesser names that maybe they were 2 stars coming out of high schools, but they're not 2 stars now. You think Fernando Mendoza is a 2-star now? That's what he was coming out of high school. Of course not. He recognizes that players are different at age 21 and 22 than they were at 17 and 18.
How absolutely hacked off, urinated off is that Alabama fan base at what is transpired? First of all, they get whipped like that on the field. And then, everybody's saving grace is this portal. We all, and Tennessee's done a nice job with their defense. Quarterback situations kind of in free fall, but, you can't have everything in life. Alabama's had some guys go in that could play and help them, 2 of whom just committed to Ohio State. Then they lose a wide receiver to Texas. Then this Hollywood Smothers guy, he was going to fortify a kind of a weak running game, and then he gets picked off even after he's there. Kev, give us the backstory. Give me the backstory on Hollywood Smothers.
Yeah, he was the running back from NC State. Interesting stat. He averaged 84 yards a game this past season. Alabama averaged 104 yards a game rushing as a team, which was the lowest at Alabama since 1955, if you can wrap your mind around that. So they already have coming in one of the best running backs out of Alabama high school football in years and years and years. His name's E.J. Crowell. He played for Jackson High School. That's a 4A. And to put that in perspective, there are 7 classifications here in Alabama. So he played 4A football, but he was the best football player in the state the last 2 years. His team won 2 straight state titles by about 50 points in each game, and he was unstoppable. He will make an impact immediately, but he's going to be a true freshman. So they need you always need multiple running backs because you're going to get banged up playing in the SEC. And so they thought this guy, Smothers, was going to be a great 1-2 punch. Some of the guys they have coming back, who are not, they're not on the Najee Harris, Derrick Henry scale of Alabama running backs. They're just serviceable, and that's part of the problem, too, is they didn't have great talent at that position. And that's on Nick Saban as much as it is Kalen DeBoer. DeBoer's philosophy is different, of course. But losing that guy, having him come to campus, having him visit, having him enroll in classes, it's been reported, and then all of a sudden at the 11th hour he goes to Texas, and he signs with Sark. Yeah, that has a lot of people wondering what the plan is in Tuscaloosa. Because I'll say this, even as bad as the Rose Bowl was, Kalen DeBoer has not lost the fan base. People are understanding that the transition from Saban was going to be difficult. They lost, you talk about losing a ton of talent when Saban retired. Ohio State's starting quarterback was on Alabama's campus at that moment. Caleb Downs, the best defensive player in the country, was on Alabama's roster at that moment when Saban retired. So people have been really understanding to a great degree, more so than you might expect, given the reputation of Alabama fans as championship or bust. But as you said, everybody now is judging things by the portal, minute by minute, day by day, who's coming, who's going, who's not coming, who was coming, and now he changed his mind. So there's a little more angst than there was even after the Rose Bowl debacle.
Kevin, Alabama should have known it couldn't trust a guy named Hollywood. That was one of its mistakes. That was a great stat. I didn't realize that about the running game. I can remember under Bear Bryant many, many years ago, decades ago, I think Alabama rushed for like 800 yards on Virginia Tech or somebody in a game. It was just, you always think of Alabama with these running backs, and you mentioned a couple of them like Najee Harris and Derrick Henry, and that was so obviously missing this year. What about, as Tony mentioned to you, Tennessee's desperate for a quarterback now. It's striking out right and left on everybody. It can't even get Bo Prabula to sign up. What about Ty Simpson? Should Tennessee make another run at him? Could maybe it outbid the NFL for Ty Simpson?
And Kev, there's a report out there that somebody offered him like $6.5 million or some crazy money. Any idea? You think that's real, Kev?
I put an asterisk by every number I see like that because we just don't know. And a lot of it, let's be honest, is agents trying to pump up the market for their players. which pumps up their own compensation as a percentage of what their players make. So, and they're trying to create buzz and get as many suitors as possible, drive up the price. So I'm a little skeptical. Well, not just a little. I'm a lot skeptical of a lot of those numbers. However, let me say this about Ty Simpson, and this could all be proven wrong 5 minutes from now. He's different. He put out a video, and I know all these guys put out these social media posts, or they have someone do it for them when they leave, and they're all so sincere, and a lot of it rings hollow. But Ty Simpson, as much as I can tell, and as much as people I know that know him really well can tell me, he's a really genuine person. And it meant something for him to play football at Alabama. That's why he stayed all those years when he got passed over for the job. Even though Jalen Milroe struggled last year, Kalen DeBoer stayed with him rather than give Ty Simpson a shot a year ago. But he kept hanging in and waited his turn. And when he got his turn and when he was fully healthy, he was dang good this year. His problems stemmed in large part from his health, getting beat up, having a suspect offensive line, having no running game to speak of. But when he put out this video, when he just said he was going to the NFL, and he talked about his legacy and what it meant to him to play at Alabama, I would be very surprised to see him play college football for anyone else. Doesn't mean it won't happen. Doesn't mean the numbers might not become so overwhelming that economically it just makes sense for him to play another year somewhere else. But I would be surprised if he did that.
Yeah, if that money's real and he didn't take that, you'd be crazy not to take that. I was looking at like what the number 10 pick in the NFL draft would make over average, and even after factoring in like a signing bonus, there's just no way they're throwing, or maybe they are. Maybe these people are that nuts. Kev, what is the deal with Alabama? Like, their approach is we're going to build this thing through high school recruiting, and then we're going to supplement it through the portal. Are the folks there, now you say they've been pretty patient up till now, but eventually in this league, the check comes due. Are we about getting to that point right now?
Well, I think the next season is all important for Kalen DeBoer. As much wailing and gnashing of teeth as is going on right now in the portal, the proof's going to come next season. You're going to 9 conference games, which is going to be a shock to the system, to a lot of SEC fan bases and coaches, having to play one more conference game. And I think one day the SEC may rue that decision when it comes to postseason participation and postseason success. I know, just using Alabama as an example, they were so beat up over the last month of the regular season in November, and that's only going to continue the more conference games you play. So there is still, like I said, there is still a reasonable portion of Alabama fans that are still holding out hope that Kalen DeBoer is the right guy, that he will be the right guy going forward, and when he completely gets his roster in there and his type of offensive line, which is different from the 330-pound average behemoths that Saban liked and was bringing in, that proved ineffective and played far below their star rankings as the season went on, especially against a defensive line like Indiana, who just slanted and twisted and created havoc and put so much pressure on Ty Simpson, which was a recurring theme. It didn't start with Indiana. A number of teams were doing that to Alabama the second half of the season. So I think there is still a modicum of patience. And next year, though, it's going to be all important. Whether it's a hot seat year, whether it's a make the playoff and get to the finals kind of year, I can't say that just now. I think Greg Burns is still fully behind Kalen DeBoer. Here's one thing that's interesting, guys. So many people from the outside have said, wait a minute, Curt Cignetti was a Nick Saban disciple. All 4 coaches in the semifinals of the playoff were former Saban assistants. Why did Alabama not hire a former Saban assistant? Why didn't they hire Curt Cignetti when Nick Saban retired? Well, first of all, Indiana hired Curt Cignetti 41 days before Saban retired, so the timing didn't work. And could you imagine the outcry from the Alabama fan base, had they hired the head coach from James Madison University. Curt Cignetti then wasn't Curt Cignetti now. And I don't care if he spent 4 years on Nick Saban's staff building the foundation in Tuscaloosa. There would have been pitchforks and torches through the streets had they done that. And the other guys, Sark said no. They reached out to Sark. It just wasn't good timing for other guys. Kirby wasn't going to leave Georgia. They were never going to hire and are never going to hire Lane Kiffin until there are a whole lot of funerals from a whole lot of people with long memories in Tuscaloosa. So there really wasn't there were slim pickings in terms of the Saban coaching tree. Now, the next time around, if Kalen DeBoer doesn't work out, well, Curt Cignetti would be probably target one for a lot of schools, and certainly I would imagine for Alabama as well.
Kevin, I wonder about Alabama's NIL funding. We hear it's not just coaching names that are so prominent now on the college landscape. It's John Ruiz at Miami, Mark Cuban suddenly with Indiana, Cody Campbell, of course, at Texas Tech. All these programs seem to have this huge benefactor that can just supply an endless amount of money. Does Alabama have anybody like that?
No. In a word, John, they don't. They don't have a Mark Cuban. They just don't. Now, they have a lot of people who are well off, who support the program, and Nick Saban was very wise early in his tenure of connecting with those people and getting them on his team and on his side so he could go to people if he needed something. And usually back then it was facilities, upgrades, where they poured a lot of money, as did a lot of programs. And now, of course, it's all in player procurement. So they don't have that. And for example, if these lists are accurate, every time you see a list of the richest people in Alabama, the guy at the top is Jimmy Rain, who's an Auburn guy. He's on the board of trustees. He's been a longtime booster, very friendly with a lot of coaches at Auburn and beyond. Of course, a lot of them appeared in his commercials through the years for his Great Southern Wood Company. But he's an Auburn guy, and he's the richest guy in the state. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, Auburn guy. I don't know how much he actually contributes to athletics, but Alabama, they have more people, that are in a higher tax bracket that do support the program. They just don't have the heavy hitter. They don't have the big swinger like again, a Mark Cuban or a Phil Knight at Oregon. They don't have that, and it looks like it's starting to hurt.
Which begs the question, Kev. Saban's a really, really, really intelligent guy. You and I were talking about that off the air, just how excellent of a broadcaster he is, and you just know he's a really smart man. He's excellent at broadcasting. It blows me away how good he is at that. He's taken that show, which I would never turn on in a million years, and made me watch it because he's on there. Because he's highly, 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 highly good at broadcasting. You can tell he's really worked at it. At any rate, you think he saw this coming? You think he looked at that landscape and said, you know what? They got billions. They got billions. The two Texas schools are coming. Oklahoma has oil money. I'm not going to be able to compete with that, and I'm not going to sit here and get diminished. You think there's a chance he saw this coming?
Absolutely. He has admitted to that in different ways at different times. That he saw how the landscape was changing. He hasn't fully said I don't think I could have won at the level that I expected to win or that I had won if I had continued. But look, all you have to do is look at the numbers. They were not winning championships at the same rate, national championships, at the same clip over the second half of his tenure at Alabama as they did in the original half. And common sense tells you it's harder to win a national championship when you have to win 2 playoff games when they went to a 4-team rather than 1 in the BCS era. And now you have to win 3 or 4 with the 12-team playoff. And who knows where they're going to take this thing in terms of the size of the playoffs. Yep. I wish they would stay at 12 for the foreseeable future. But no, he saw this coming, and he was not going to be mediocre. His phrase before he retired was he was going to stay until he felt like he was riding the program down. He never wanted to ride the program down. In other words, see it become mediocre, see it slip from the height that he had built it up to. But he understood exactly where this was going, and he understood that Alabama wouldn't have the resources of the Texases and the Texas A&Ms just in the SEC.
If you tell like a rank and file Alabama fan that, would they believe it? Like, do they know they have a place in this thing right now? Do they understand that the Texas Techs of the world are just, well, they're just boat racing people right now? Do they understand that?
I think intellectually, but emotionally, their expectations are built on the greatest decade and a half in the history of college football.
And that history.
Certainly in the modern era.
And that history, yes.
That's their expectations, is to be in the championship chase every year and play meaningful games in November and get into the postseason and have a chance to be the last team standing. That's the unrealistic expectation that Saban and his staff created, from 2007 through 2023. Even though he lost his last 2 playoff games, even though he didn't win a national championship his last 3 years, which was the first 3-year period in his tenure in which they did not win a national championship, which is crazy to say out loud, but it's a fact. So that mindset adjustment is really hard to make when you're a fan base that's been that spoiled, that used to that level of success, that unprecedented level of success. And so, it's an adjustment. Absolutely. You think think about a fan who's in their 50s.
Yep.
And what they've seen in their lifetime.
Yes.
And imagine what it did to them.
Yes.
To watch that Rose Bowl. And not just to get thoroughly dominated as the game went on. It just got worse and worse. As I said earlier, Indiana tightened its grip more and more. And it's Indiana. It's not Georgia. It's not Ohio State. It's not Michigan, the team that ushered Saban into retirement in the Rose Bowl in overtime. It's Indiana.
Hey, Kev,
imagine how hard that must be to wrap your mind around that as a longtime Alabama fan.
Kev, I'm a graduate of this school and a fan of this school, and do the show from a fan perspective and hang out and have fun and do my thing. Now, it never has stopped me from calling balls and strikes on here, and I always will, but that's another story for another day. It's jarring to me. It is jarring to me as a Tennessee fan to watch what Indiana's doing. I can't imagine what it's doing to the psyche of an Alabama fan who thought it was their birthright. The guy that used to wear the championship ring on his hat, on his head down there at media days. I mean, that cat's going to have that thing at a rummage sale soon or over at the flea market if this doesn't turn around. I mean, what's going through that guy's alleged mind right now? Think about it, John Adams.
Kevin, I think it's harder on Alabama fans than fans anywhere else. Because it wasn't just Nick Saban at Alabama. I mean, I'm old enough to remember the Bear Bryant dynasty at Alabama.
Yes.
So Alabama had 2 dynasties. And when I was watching first the Indiana win in the Rose Bowl and then watching Indiana fans take over Mercedes-Benz with all that red, and I'm thinking Alabama, I'm thinking Nebraska in the 1990s, it's Indiana red.
And what's crazy, Kev, is I was talking yesterday on the air because our guy Clarky Boy, who will buy your tickets, by the way, over at Select Ticket Service. Clarky Boy says that the tickets are $3,500 right now to get into that championship game, and the market is solely being driven by the Indiana people who will have 75% of Miami Stadium when the game kicks off. That's what they're saying.
That's a great example of how Alabama-like this Indiana team and program is right now. I can remember the first game of the 2000 season. Mike Dubose, and that's another thing, John, about Alabama. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry, every Ray, Bill, and Mike won 10 games at least once in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And so Mike Dubose for all of his on and off field woes, wins the SEC in '99, beats Steve Spurrier twice, one of them in the swamp in overtime. I think it was only Spurrier's second loss in the swamp up to that point. And the next year, Alabama starts the season ranked number 3. They open at UCLA in the Rose Bowl, and the people there marveled at the RV Army that crossed the country full of Alabama fans to watch what they thought was going to be a national championship season. Of course, they went from number 3 to 3-8 and fired DuBose at the end of the year after they got shut out by Auburn. But that's the level of support. I remember the first time they went to Oklahoma in my experience, and being out there in Norman, and the people there, it was 2002, I want to say, with Dennis Franchione, and those people there, this is Oklahoma. Now, they've got a pretty strong tradition of their own, a pretty amazing fan base of their own. They were blown away by the number of Alabama fans that made the trip and that did it in RVs. So, Indiana, what they're doing right now, it is so reminiscent of Alabama in so many ways. And the disconnect that it's Indiana doing is really hard for the human mind to grapple with, especially if you're a human mind in the state of Alabama who loves college football.
They're wearing Bama's colors. They've stolen their gimmick. They're taking over stadiums. They've got a guy that's a Saban, and the guy acts like Saban on the sidelines. He never smiles. He stands over there. He's like a demented Saban almost. He's like a young Jimmy Superfly Snuka when he came to WWF back in the day. He's sitting over there, and he kind of shakes his head, and he has this thing where he's like, it looks like he's talking to like...
He's like a Star Wars, bad guy in Star Wars.
Yeah, he's Bizarro. At any rate, Kev, I appreciate
He's not emotionally unhinged like Saban would be at times. He's not
he just stands there.
He's not planting his headset. He's over there looking completely disgusted and dissatisfied at whatever just happened. Even if they just scored a touchdown or had a pick 6 on the first play of the semifinal against Oregon, he just looks dissatisfied. And I think that's part of his. I think part of it's almost like an act now at this point. It seems, but I don't think it's an act. I think that's who he is.
Hey, Kev, on the way out, how do folks find you? Tell folks where they can find you, and I appreciate your time, brother. Always good to talk with a fellow Pennsylvania boy.
Well, hey, listen, I always enjoy talking with you and John. You guys are two of the best in the business, no doubt. Best thing for people to do to follow me is on X or Twitter, if you prefer, at Kevin Skarbinski. We have some lively conversations, especially when I live tweet football games. We'll be doing that Monday night again in the championship game. And you can keep up with my columns. You can find those on AL.com. And you can go to YouTube, my relatively new podcast. My channel is Kevin Skarbinski-Scarbo Knows.
Thank you, my man. Great talking to you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Yeah. Kevin Skarbinski, one more time. Hey, Matt, think about how dizzying that must be for those Tide fans who are literally going to snap. You know they are, Matt. Literally, this is not going to end well. If Indiana hangs a banner and they do, it's like they've stolen their gimmick, Matt. It's like us and Clemson back in the day. Their gimmick has been stolen, Matt.
Yeah, and not necessarily by Indiana, although Cignetti's at the top of the sport right now. But yeah, I just think Saban's his way of doing things was kind of over. So, and that's why you guys talked about it. That's why he kind of got out while when he did, because he could see the landscape changing. But no, it was never going to end well for whoever replaced Saban down there.
Yep.
Even though I think DeBoer's a pretty good coach. It just, he's just never going to live up to those expectations.
Well, and the issue is, too, and the reason people are like, what are you giving on? You're talking about... No, I'm talking about us, you morons. What is wrong with you people? Don't you people understand nuance at all? What are you doing in the Alabama segment? Oh, you YouTube people. I mean, get a life. Here's nuance, okay? It's not only falling in on us, it's falling in on everybody in this league. That's the truth. I tried to provide you some perspective today. And you, this guy's a bimmer,
What?
I mean, John.
Why does that?
If it falls in on Alabama, okay, can it fall in on anybody?
can fall in on everybody, but
and they don't have billionaires. They don't have a way out.
See,
we have a way out.
That's what I was told, and that's why I asked Kevin. That's why I asked Kevin. That's why I asked Kevin that, because I had an Alabama fan tell me, someone very knowledgeable about Alabama, before the season started. I texted them. I said, "Does Alabama have billionaire boosters?" And she said, "No. Auburn has 2."
And if you don't have billionaire boosters in this deal, you're not going to compete. You can have a fun AD all you want, like Danny White and his Schmedium shirts and this and that and the other. But if you don't have some coal in that engine, when that thing leaves the track, you're going to be in big trouble in Little China. And Alabama is having it fall on them. Because, Matt, they've had a bunch of guys go into the portal that they wanted to keep because they don't have the money. Guys they got out of high school, they don't have the money. And then Hollyweird wiggled off the vine on him, Matt. Hollyweird.
Yeah, he went to Texas where they're just, loading up and spending at an obscene rate, I guess, to try to match Texas Tech.
Well, Matt.
And A&M.
Well, think about think about this, because A&M just got our wide receiver, Isaiah Horton.
It's gross.
But one thing Kevin said, I thought, he mentioned it, and I didn't realize how valued this recruit was. I'm always skeptical of recruits, but E.J. Kroll, the running back that Kevin said, he made him sound like he could be the next Derrick Henry, Najee Harris, and maybe he will. Who knows? But if he is, how can Alabama be sure that Ohio State or Texas won't say,
next
"Hey,
year.
Maybe we need to take a look at that guy"?
Well, how about this? If that were the case, just like with George McIntyre, okay? Tennessee fans want, and I love you. I'm for you. I'm one of you. Like I told Kevin Scarpin, I got no problem saying that. I came here, stayed here, raised my family here. I love this place. If our head coach believed in the 2 guys he has on his roster right now, because that might be what this comes to, why last night were they trying to, before the news broke, and they were trying, to the point where Bo Pribula's people said, "That's it, we're going to Virginia." Why were they trying against trying to up the ante to try and get that kid from Arizona State here? Because that is what happened. Now, you can choose to believe that or not believe that, and it's the same thing with Alabama. If you've got this hotshot freshman coming in that you want to tell me is a great player, why were you going to spend big money on Hollyweird Smothers? Okay? So this all ties together. You guys on YouTube are clowns. We've got, apparently Mark in Columbus is in here texting now, the bane of my existence. Lieutenant Mark from Colombo is what he's known as. And
what's Mark saying?
He just, everybody's ripping me. Everybody's ripping me.
Well, Tony, you don't have to have that. What
do you mean? I love that.
well,
Matt,
there you go.
Matt, do you love the comment section and how they needle me and needle each other? I think it's incredible. I'm for the comment section over on YouTube. It's why it's growing so well. I love the YouTube commenters. I'm for them. Back to the phones, just asked, can Nate Ament throw a football? We're going to ask Marky Boy Griffin on the other side, because Tennessee's got a huge game tonight with Texas A&M. Buckyball's in town. Matt, do we run Buckyball out of our gym tonight, or is there a chance, the way they score, is there a chance, Matt, that we might not be able to keep up with them? How do you see this one?
I think Tennessee's got a huge advantage inside. But, I mean, when you play a team that shoots a bunch of threes and likes to turn teams over, which is kind of key against Tennessee, that's always kind of a recipe to get upset. And certainly not a great matchup for Tennessee's offense, at least.
That's right. That's the thing you wonder about, you worry about, and Griff's here.
The thing you wonder about and you worry. And by the way, we've got our name suggestions for this segment. Now, John Adams is a wordsmith. Maybe he'll turn a phrase, and maybe he'll walk out of here with the copper card.
Hey, how about this? Arms Up with Mark Griffith.
Come on, man. Come on now. People aren't going to. It's like the Professor Griff stuff with Public Enemy. The kids are going, who is that? What is Public Enemy? Who is Chuck D? What is Chuck D? Who is Chuck D? Arms Up. It'd be like Basilio's hair. Basilio's hair.
Okay, well, you think up something, Tony.
I can't. I'm lost. There's more on the other. John's like, well,
I don't care. It's not my show.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk, to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hey there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. The holiday season is here, and if your plans include unwrapping your new home, then take advantage of less competition and motivated sellers while others are out fighting over parking spots at the mall. Smart buyers are out snagging deals on great homes, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and as always, go Vols!
You better know this, say this, know this, and write this down. A little change of pace for you here on a Tuesday. And we'll get back to that. We'll get back to the quarterback stuff and the portal and then this and then that. But the great Mark Griffin now joins us on the program. This is an extension of his Griffin's three-pointers, which you've read over at tclub.team all these years. But Griff, we're taking it to the next level this year. He joins us every Tuesday. We do have some names for this segment. We will go over those names here momentarily, but Griff is in the house with us, along with Matt Dixon, who I just want to pause all the time because I'm almost like afraid to say his name because I'm going to say Diskin. But today, Matt did some great research into this basketball team, its uneven start, comparing it to past Tennessee editions. And Matt, why don't you go ahead and take the floor and share with us a little bit of what you found as I bring the great Mark Griffin in here.
Yeah, we saw in the Arkansas game, the free throw shooting kind of cost them that game. And then in Gainesville the other day, they just turned the ball over like 36% of the time in the first half. And you're just never going to win doing that, really, either of those things. So I looked it up, and this is by far the worst free throw shooting team that Barnes has had here at Tennessee. And then the turnovers it's the second highest turnover rate of a Barnes team. The only one that was higher was that Jordan Bowden team that was going to miss the NCAA tournament before COVID. And the three best turnover rate teams that Barnes has had, like offensively, have been these past two Elite Eight teams and then the Grant and Admiral team. And there's a real correlation between not turning the ball over and getting shots up that help you. But that combo of being a bad free throw shooting team and committing a lot of turnovers, when you have kind of the lack of outside shooting and you play inside out like Tennessee does, that's just a recipe to really get beat more times than you should against good teams.
Griff, your thoughts on how historically bad, they're just not bad at some of these things, they're like historically bad at this point for a Rick Barnes club?
Well, what's a staple with Coach Barnes, too, is unfortunate is he's really stern on removing guys that make early turnovers or turnovers during the game. One, and you're out. Watch the trend. You see a guy make a turnover, they're coming out. I really do think it's hard to play when you're looking over your shoulder if you make one bad turnover and what turnover's good. But a bad turnover is what we saw, or many of them this weekend, is when you turn the ball over and then they just go down and get a layup. That's a bad turnover. You're trying to force something inside to big, there's a mismatch, and, guard comes in, knocks it out of the big guy's hands. Yeah, it's a turnover, but it's not going to cost you a bucket. It just seems like early on this season at Arkansas, at Florida, turnovers were really costly, and it's driving this staff nuts. And in players, you just don't have that freedom that you've really got to have to say, hey, I may turn it over, but we'll make up for it on defense. But then again, if you're not getting back on defense and they're getting, fast break transition points, I mean, then that's another negative that's happening so far. So they've just got to clean that up tonight against A&M.
Because in these road losses, the other thing that led to that, and we talked about in our Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime, we'll be on with you tonight after the game, but the thing that really blew my mind the other day, Griff, is, and I don't know why this surprised me, and I wonder if the staff talks Barnes into going away from this. When Nate Ament commits 2 fouls, or when Gillespie commits 2 fouls, and there's time left in the first half, they have got to start being more judicious with leaving those 2 guys on the floor and letting them play through it. Because here's the truth. When they pulled Nate Ament off that floor the other day, and I think, guys, Brian and Matt, you guys know the numbers better than I do. 15-2, I think, was the run from there.
Yeah, 1:44 left in the first half.
Can't do it. And I love our coach. You love him. But he's so dogmatic with this 2 foul stuff, Mark. I mean, surely they've got to adjust that with this roster, right? Or do you think we're just going to...
You would think, Tony, but, I'll tell you a funny side story. I was having lunch with a gentleman yesterday, high school coach. We're talking zone defense. I asked him, I said, you run a lot of zone? You know what he told me? Hadn't ran zone since 2008 in high school. And I'm like, why? I said, how do you prepare for it in practice? He goes, I prepare for it. We run a dummy offense and plan for it, but I will not play it. So that told me there that coaches, when they get stuck, and I'll call it stuck, in their belief system, most are not going to change. Not just your elite college coaches, but we're talking high school, maybe even middle school. They have that so-called philosophy, Tony. They're not changing.
Mark, we're talking about some issues Tennessee's had: turnovers, free throw shooting. In Tennessee's 2 SEC losses, lost 1 to Arkansas, Darius Acuff looked like one of the best players in the country. I think he had 31 points or so, just went off on Tennessee. He took over the game, a freshman guard. Then against Florida, Arkansas transfer, Boogie Fland. His struggle most of the early season and even in the first SEC game, I guess, in his shooting. He tears up Tennessee. He can't miss. He looks like a lottery pick. Was Tennessee just a victim of bad timing and these guys are really good? Or is Tennessee's defense, do you think there's maybe an issue with Tennessee's defense?
I think it's a combination, John. Acuff's always been a top-notch prospect. Boogie Flan was McDonald's All-American coming out of high school from the Bronx. He was shooting 19% from the three before that Tennessee game. I mean, horrific.
Yeah.
And, they teased about getting his hair cut, how he turned it around, whatever he did. It was at the expense of Tennessee. So I think you're right. Why are you allowing these guards to have such great games and really change the tempo of the game? And A&M's got a kid too. I mean, they've got this kid, Ruben Dominguez.
Yeah.
And I know we'll talk a little bit about A&M, but I want to throw it out really quickly. I mean, 88% of his shots are three-pointers, and he's third in the SEC in shooting three. If you guys are watching tonight and they are not forcing him within the arc to put up twos,
yes,
disservice to this team. You cannot allow him at all to be open behind the three-point arc at all tonight. And I'm going to be keying in on that more than anything.
One of the things, Matt, that Tennessee's been really good at when they see guys like this in the past, this team not so much, but teams in the past, when you have that great three-point shooter, they've always been able to run you off the line and force you to settle for mid-range shots or things of that sort. Matt, so far, for whatever reason, and the numbers John points out, maybe it's just two tough environments that they played in, but, man, that stuff's just not happening for us. I guess my hope is it's different in our building. Matt, what do you think? Is that a foolish thought on my part?
No, it's true. They do it. They've done it to Alabama, did it pretty well. The last couple of times they played them where they've just ran them off the 3-point line and you've won games. It's you've got to. I think tonight the key you got to limit the turnovers. You can't give up the live ball turnovers to give them easy points. And then, like you said, you've got to guard the 3-point line because that's what they do. They're going to try to space the floor. But to do that, you have to be able to guard your guys one-on-one, and you can't overhelp, which is something that Tennessee can do against teams that space the floor well and shoot threes.
Because, Griff, they've really got a riddle this year because generally in the past they've had the luxury of having excellent defenders who are okay on offense. This year's team, there are two guards short. We all know that. They gambled on Nate Ament, who I thought he showed some spark the other day. Let's talk about Ament for a second here. I like the way Griff against Florida, even Florida's rugged front line, they used Ament and got him around the 10 and got him touches around the rim. That's something new that we haven't seen. They actually were using deep penetration with him as part of the package with Ament.
Yeah, and we talked about this last week, but a key for Ament is, and we saw this against Florida, is his upward trajectory of shooting the ball was on display versus him having a delayed shot coming down and getting blocked and no foul called, where he just has to toughen up a little bit on his shot and not look to get fouled to go to the line, but just know that you're going to knock down your shot. And if you get fouled, it's just a bonus. But you're right. He was able to get a lot of extra shots. You're going to have to continue to see that this evening. I think he's got some good matchups against this A&M team. And like Matt said, A&M likes to get out and shoot the three. If they're going to turn the ball over, this A&M team, they're going to launch it. They're shooting 33 points shots a game. And to compare that, UT shooting 20. So they're gonna that's their MO. They're gonna get up shots and off of turnovers, transition, and Tennessee is gonna have to really play that perimeter, force back door. Another strength that Tennessee does have, guys, is and Matt mentioned this, but if they can overplay on the perimeter, you've got a tall front line that can assist in the middle, and you've got depth if someone does get into foul trouble. So I think you're really going to see that tonight. A lot of overplaying the wings, force them into that 15-foot shot, which is rare these days. and take their chances there, because you can't shut off everything about a team. I mean, you just can't stop everything. You just try to make sure that you're in a position to give them a less chance to be successful. And I think that's going to be Tennessee's best opportunity, is to not give up 33-point shots tonight.
But to Matt's point, and one of the reasons why that research is really interesting, bad basketball teams, or teams that are going to struggle in this league and not play at the top but play toward the middle, which maybe that's what this team's going to do. I don't know. It's still real early in the season. I mean, we've had some screwy results. We saw Stephen F. and Pearl win a game the other day they weren't supposed to win. We've seen some other odd results. Missouri going to Kentucky and winning. I mean, just there's been some strange things that have happened so far. But one thing is for damn sure. If you're a club that does not take care of the basketball and you don't shoot foul shots at a decent clip, you're not going to beat people that can play. You're just not, unless you go out and you shoot above your average. And those are things Barnes' teams have always done, those little things. And this team, John, for whatever reason, to this point, is not a little things basketball team. And they don't do little things they don't do little things defensively either, John.
Well, no, but the things you keep harping on, against a team like Texas A&M, Tennessee is a 9.5-point favorite, so it's a favorite for a reason. And we know how it seems to be more difficult than ever to win on the road in this league, even though we are seeing some upsets by the road teams. But when you look at Tennessee, if you don't make your free throws and you're playing a team that plays full court pressure like A&M does, if they turn you over, or if they foul a lot, and Bucky McMillan plays a lot of guys. He's kind of the SEC men's version of Kim Caldwell. He doesn't substitute. He doesn't have inline substitutions, but he runs a lot of guys in and out of there. I mean, he's playing 10, 11 guys. So if they do play a lot of pressure defense on the road, foul a lot, you got to make those free throws. You can pull away by converting those free throws. But if you don't, then they'll stay in the game and they'll just keep pestering you and hounding you in the full court.
Hey, Griff, and John brings a good point up, because a gentleman asked us over on YouTube, how do you cut back on the turnovers? Like, you're on that staff, they're looking at film. How do you do that?
Well, I think how you cut back on turnovers is I hate to go back to effort and focus, but it's more effort and focus as far as having good angles when you're making passes. This is very fundamental. Sharp passes, hard passes. I mean, it's something you practice when you're in the 6th grade. It's fundamentals. You have to be fundamentally sound. You cannot force things. You cannot make it happen. If it's not there, it may take an extra pass, a better angle. It's things you work on. Every program works on every day, but it's like, what's the focus? Are you afraid to throw it away, or because you're going to come out, or are we looking for a good angle so we can get a good shot and maybe get to the free throw line? What has been the main focus? And that part's fixable more than even the free throws. Free throws, I know, is very mental, but can you fix that overnight? I really don't think you can. I mean, you can have a good night, but that part you got to work through. Turnovers, you can fix that in one night. It's just like get better angles. Sharper pass, sharp bounce pass, move when you pass the ball inside, move in the perimeter, get a better angle, get closer to the basket. I mean, those things are all fixable.
But, Mark, you mentioned earlier, I thought this was significant when you talked about if you're having a problem with turnovers, you can't be thinking, oh, I can't make a turnover. I can't make a turnover. Because then you aren't focused on what you're doing. You're focused on what you might do, and then that makes you more susceptible to another turnover.
I mean, that's a great point. And it's funny, the mental part of the game is so significant that's not talked about enough. And you're exactly right, John. You got enough going on in the game with your game plan, scouting, What are your goals offensively, defensively, matchups, running the plays, being at the right spot at the right time, hustling. And then you add another thing like, oh, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. I may come out. I'm not going to play. I'm hurting the team. And all this stuff gets in your head, and you're like, oh, you got to have a clear head because it's already tough enough athletically, notwithstanding the mental part.
Dave said you fix your turnover issue by recruiting good guards, Tony. And Dave, you're a clown. All right, no offense to you,
but
I mean that's not a solution, Dave. That's you being you. Like, I'm glad you're you, but that's not a solution, Chief. I'm looking for solutions. And Griff's on here. We need solutions. We're trying to find a name for this segment because this is awesome. This is Tuesday Hoops. We're breaking it down scientifically. We're moving right to left across your device. Griff's got some great stuff on this A&M team we're going to see tonight. He broke it down scientifically in Griff's three-pointers, which is a great name for what he does in the three-point presentation over at tclub.team for all of our basketball games. But this is a compendium to that. This is the radio compendium. We're not going to call it Griffin's Three-Pointers Radio. We can do better than Griffin's Three-Pointers Radio. Okay? So on the other side,
You didn't like arms up. I think that's how I remember Mark. I can still see him in my mind's eye with those arms raised high.
Okay, that to me has a connotation of and connotes on patrol live. Okay? Arms up. So we're going to take now, and Matt Dixon. Matt Dixon, who watches a lot of Arms Up too. Hey, Matt, going back to your live PD days, when I say Arms Up, Matt, what do you think about? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so we come back. We got some folks that have sent in some entries, and we're going to see if we can pick one.
Give us one right now. Give us one.
Or maybe on the other, or maybe what we're going to do is really challenge this audience to go back to the drawing board because I'm giving away a great prize. Look, Dubsy today.
How about mark it down?
Dubsy today is live along with William Pattison. They're getting set up right now. They're over at Smoky Mountain Brewery, and they're out at Turkey Creek. And you can go out and eat lunch or eat dinner before the game. Come hang out, watch a game with those guys. They're going to be there. Be there, Freddie Miller. But here's the deal. I need a name for this segment. I mean, I'm glad they're there at Smoky Mountain Brewery, Turkey Creek today. But I need a freaking name for this segment. I don't see anybody coming to the aid of... Here are some of the suggestions. John, cogitate on these while we take a time out. Are you a good cogitator, John? What kind of cogitator? I know you're a good agitator, but are you a good cogitator?
Yes.
Zach Attack in E-Town says, Griffin Go. Hoops Breakdown with Mark Griffin. Tuesday Hoops Day with Mark Griffin. Mark Madness with Mark Griffin. Your noon tip-off with Griff. MRM says, On the Mark with Mark Griffin. Doink says, Griff's Take Tuesday. Who's Jimmy Dyke's Daddy? Tuesday with Mark Griffin. Mark in Dallas says Game Days with Griffin or On the Mark Preview. Todd D says Mark My Words. And Allison, where are yours? Allison, did I not get yours? Allison, I didn't get yours in the blog today and a couple other.
I don't like any of those.
Well, damn. Well, I guess we'll continue after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
The season of giving reminds us of what truly matters, community and connection. Hi there, Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. As the year closes, I wanted to take a moment to sincerely thank you, my Basilio family clients. Thank you for trusting me with your most important decisions. Whether it was finding your first home or successfully closing a chapter, your trust means everything. I look forward to new and continued relationships through the new year, and feel free to reach out to me at 865-694-5904 or nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And of course, go Vols.
Basilio here with my buddy, Kenexial Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Kenexial builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Kenexial.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Kenexial, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
Now, we have had some great name suggestions come in over on with our YouTubers as well. And look, our YouTubers, I got a love-hate relationship with y'all. I mostly hate you. No, I'm just kidding you. I love everybody. We're going to, at 865-200-5402, get some calls in after Griff. But A&M's in town tonight. We're on with you after the game on Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. I've got John Adams in the house, presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. And Allison, I forgot hers. She had a couple good suggestions, and she's saying, hey, T, I'm having trouble finding it right now. Yeah, me too, Allison. I'm starting to think you wrote it on Invisible Link. We do have a couple. How about, Mark, here's a pretty good one. How about Brick by Brick with Griff? How's that grab you?
No.
No.
I shot enough bricks back in the day, too.
That's right. That you can't have.
Don't let me look back then, so
all right.
reflect.
How about Griff's grab bag?
How
Grab
about
bag?
How about not?
How about not? Griff's game plan. I like that one.
Griff's game plan. How about in the paint?
No, he was a perimeter player.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Arms up.
Never saw it, John.
How about my personal favorite right now, riffing with Griffin?
No.
He's riffing on here.
No. That just doesn't work.
He's riffing.
No, Tony.
Matt, what do you think of riffing with Griffin? On here riffing about basketball? The kids say riffing?
There's been a lot better suggestions than that.
You know what? Maybe you're trying too hard and encouraging your YouTubers and your huge following to try too hard. Just make it simple and straightforward,
it's lunchtime.
and let people know what he does. He's an analysis. He's an analyst.
How about this? Griffin Go Hoops Breakdown with Mark Griffin, Zach and E-Town. That's a great suggestion. Griffin Go, because you're on the go. The hour this is
nobody's going to make that connection.
Tuesday Hoops Day. Oh. Tuesday Hoops Day with Griff. He's on for Tuesdays. It lets people know it's a benchmark.
Well, but I think
then
you want to
in programming. Tuesday Hoops Day.
With
I
Griff.
Wake up on Tuesday.
I understand what it means, Tony. But do you? But when you say Griff, do you think people will confuse him with Mike Griffith?
Oh God, don't do that either. I'm not a Michigan State guy or whatever he is. I like Mark's Madness.
Mark Madness.
Mark
Madness. Meatball Breakdown.
No. Because,
tip in with Griffin.
No,
Put
because
the tip in with Griffin.
Mark is a serious analyst. He really adds something. He brings substance to the table. And so don't call it madness.
Mark Madness.
But that's like March Madness, John.
Yeah,
it's
don't
all
you
about
get
March
that?
Madness.
I know what it is.
I like Mark Madness. John, quit blowing holes in these. Matt, what do you think of Mark Madness for right now?
I know. I actually like that one a lot. When we were doing it during the break, I kind of like that.
Mark Madness. There's also On the Mark, which I like. I like On the Mark.
How about Mark Madness?
Mark my words. Todd D says, mark my words. And I don't know what. Jennifer Morris had one. I lost yours too, Jennifer. The ladies, I lost y'all's. I don't know where they are.
Well, you shouldn't lose Jennifer. She's a sponsor.
Of
Hello.
John Adams. Next move, SmokyMountains.com. She's with Keller Williams. Shout it out loud. Okay. Let's get back to tonight's game. Griff.
Yeah.
This ball club here, we were talking during the break. Introduce a few things about what we're going to see tonight.
Well, we touched on a little bit. I'm not sure if this was on the air or off the air, but this is the 3-point heavy team, 30 attempts versus 20 for Tennessee. Big concern there. Some of the things that really stood out about A&M on the Griffin three-pointers on the blog, Tony, is we were talking about the three-point shooting. They're 37.4%. What does that matter? They're 27th in the nation out of 365. So they're an elite three-point shooting team. And when you shoot as many three-point shots as they do, the concern for Tennessee fans, let's say they are up more than 10, and that's always the marker. If you can cut the lead to less than 10, you're always in the game. They're 3 possessions away, Tony, from being right there to win a game. And with Tennessee, could turn the ball over in 3 straight possessions, 3 straight three-pointers, game's turned around in 30 seconds. That's a concern. One thing that I'm looking forward to on Tennessee's side is defensively, this team is not very strong. They're 217th in the nation at opponents' field goal percent at 44.2. So that's really high. That tells me that they're not going to play a lot of defense. They'd rather just get up and down the court, and that's going to weigh heavily on Tennessee's side tonight, Tony. You can look at how many points they've scored, 5th in the nation, 93.7. Yeah, that's a lot, but I still go back to look to see who they played during the season, so that kind of offsets that stat. They're terrible on defense, 290th in the country, giving up 77 points a game.
Mark, so, do you think they're, excuse me, but do you think they're worse defensively than Texas?
I do.
Wow.
Yes, I really do. Now, Texas, as you guys mentioned earlier, really surprised me at Alabama. It was like 2 different teams, and that's interesting because they were on the road that game versus how they played here in Knoxville. And I didn't think Texas had a lot of talent as far as their guards, but the Pope kid just had a career day, and Mark had a career game.
Pope and Mark.
Yeah. It was you just never know in the SEC. That's why people could say, "Oh, Tennessee's at home tonight; they'll beat A&M."
Never know.
We don't know.
Never
know.
We
really don't know.
Because nobody's elite in the league. Nobody in this league is elite this year. It's a lot like football. Nobody's elite, and when nobody's elite, when you get on the field, hey, a few mistakes, a turnover here, a flurry there, a hot shooter over there. It feels like our football because I don't see anybody that's like tremendously dominant. That Florida,
and for Arkansas to lose at Auburn was a huge surprise. I think that game was by 23.
It's embarrassing.
And I was like, oh my God. But Keyshawn Hall from Auburn had a career day. I think he had 36 points. But when we saw Arkansas against UT, I thought they're going to run away with the conference. Then you go out and lose, against Auburn like they did. I think it's still going to be wide open. I know this is early, but my SEC favorite right now, based on what we saw at Florida, if Boogie Flan has any type of remaining game at all, I'm going to go Florida. Their big guys are just incredible. They're number one in the nation in rebounding, and they are so good.
They pass well, those big guys. Good gosh.
I mean, the Condon
No, they don't
guys.
have depth. They don't have a lot of depth on the perimeter.
Right.
And the Lee kid that transferred from, I believe, Princeton, I'm not a big fan. But, if they could get anything from number 7, the foreign player, and Boogie Flan, and not have to go deep on the perimeter, they're going to be a strong, strong team moving forward.
We're beyond the arc with Mark, or it's Mark Madness. I might use both of those. I might trademark Beyond the Arc with Mark and Mark Madness, and get some shirts printed up for these Tuesday segments, because Beyond the Arc with Mark is excellent. Hey, Griff, you mentioned Mark M. Pope from Texas. Let's talk about Tennessee's second game this week, which we do. We'll do a little look ahead to the upcoming Kentucky game at home when Mark M. Pope brings his team in here. Kentucky has a run in them this season. Are you buying or selling that, Griff? They're going to get it together and play better basketball. Buying or selling?
Well, I'm buying because they can't play any worse. I mean, you've got 5 guys with their own agenda. When you watch this team, and I've watched them several times, and I'm shaking my head every game. I'm just like, what agenda are they on? And then people were saying, and I'll probably butcher his name, Quaintance, the transfer from Baylor, comes. They'll be fine. Inside presence, future lottery pick. Hasn't made a difference. I don't know if he's still playing with a little injury or not. I hate it for Coach Pope because never been a fan of Kentucky, but I like Coach Pope. I just do. I mean, I think he wears his heart on his sleeve. He loves Kentucky. Yep. He's worked his way through the system.
Agree.
Many stops. He started off, I think, as a graduate assistant at Georgia, which no one ever talked about, and just worked his way up. And, he was there at Kentucky, won a championship. Just loves Kentucky, and they're struggling. And then we got bad news yesterday for them. Their guard Lowe just found out that he's out for the rest of the season. So
gosh,
will the stud Jasper Johnson step in, another lefty that mirrors his style? Will he take those minutes and help turn it around? It'll be interesting to see, but that's still going to be even more lack of depth for this team. I think they're definitely not. It's the worst athletic team that I've seen Kentucky put on the floor in quite some time.
I mean, they had zero answers. That Missouri game the other night, I know they got a win over the weekend, but the Missouri game the other night, like when the spigot goes off for them, it is that layup. I mean, what they're doing. Hey, Matt, do you believe, as part of what we're doing here, which with Marky Mark and the Lunchy Bunch, do you believe, because you're part of the Lunchy Bunch here on the show, Matt, do you believe Kentucky has a run in them, or is this what it is for them?
No, not without Lowe. He was the only point guard on their roster. So they'll have a couple of good games where they kind of play close to their potential, but no, I think they're a bubble team at best of making the tournament.
With a $24 million roster, John, they've got twice as much.
I know it's
expenditure than we do, twice as much.
Yeah, I've seen great Kentucky teams, not so great Kentucky teams, mediocre Kentucky teams. But when you look at them, you always think you can usually see potential. You can usually say, well, that guy could get it together. That guy could go on a streak, because you know what, particularly under John Calipari, that pipeline to the NBA. And these guys, they'll be just okay at Kentucky. They turn into NBA stars. But I don't see that kind of potential on this team.
No, and that's all fun. Look, that's why we call this thing Mark Madness. Because at the end of the day, when you start dealing with Mark Madness, we deal with the truth. And that's, Griff, the Vols need to win both these games this week.
Oh, no doubt. And they're in a great position to do so.
Sure.
And what a better time.
Yep.
And what's interesting, unfortunately, the Vol faithful are looking at like the world's coming to an end, and it's not. I mean, Lenardi still has them as a 5th seed.
Yep.
And Barnes is, I don't believe, and I'm not I didn't look all this up, but I don't think Barnes has ever had a program go to the tournament less than a 5 seed since he's been at UT. And this is at their low point. So if they can turn this around, what we've seen early, and fix these road losses and turnovers, then there's an upside. But at the same time, this Tennessee team that we're watching, I don't know what games they're going to win on the road. I mean, I look at the schedule and I'm like, they could lose every game on the road, but you got to protect your home court. You just have to. So these 2 games, I'm not saying I don't believe in the whole must win. Every game's a must win. It's your next game. It's a must win. But they just need to take care of business tonight, get this, good crowd tonight, and then have a good crowd on Saturday, put out a great product, take care of Kentucky, and then just roll from there.
Hey, Matt, you one of the lunchy bunch. Do you agree that you don't see a bunch of road wins when you look at the schedule right now? What Griff's saying?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a struggle for this team to win on the road, especially those Saturday games, and these couple coming up are the toughest ones. But yeah, it will be tough for this team to go win on the road. Unless they clean up some of the careless turnovers and improve some of the free throw shooting.
What would you say? I had an emailer sent me. He's kind of down on the Vols right now after those 2 SEC losses, and he says he thinks they will struggle to win 20 games.
Right.
What would you say is right now? How many wins would you give Tennessee overall going into the SEC tournament?
Brian Hartman, you're excellent at that. What's the number, Brian, when you look at their schedule? Because I haven't counted them out. Maybe we could do that for next week, because I want to see how we do this.
Okay.
Week.
I think they have a chance to run the table in their building. And if they do that, that would be 8 more wins onto 11. That would make 19. If they can get a couple
after regular season,
if they can get a couple of games on the road, I don't think they're going to go 0 for the road.
And I think
they might win
a
couple.
Yeah,
they might win 2, maybe 3. You're looking at 21, 22 wins. Maybe I'd say 21 and a half.
I don't think we're running the table at home. I don't think we're running the table at home either. So you're going to lose a game here or there.
Well, I think 22 would be about right.
Yeah.
21.
And hey, let me tell you something. If that's a down year, 22 wins or 20 wins, if 20 wins a down year, and you're in the NCAA tournament as like a 5 or a 6 seed, okay, I'll sign up for that. Because here's the thing about this team, if we're being honest. It's not the best constructed team. And you know what? That staff gets a mulligan because in the transfer portal era, they've been doing a damn good job to this point of plugging and playing. They've been actually making it look easy, and it's not easy. It's anything but easy. But this year they had to replace too many players. The good thing is they feel like they've got, if you project it next year, they've got some guys that look like building blocks. And you need those program-type building block guys. Hey, Griff, there's rumors going around. This is, and this is our thing when you lose a few games. There's rumors going around this is Barnes' last year. People are saying on boards and speculating and this, that, and the other. And I wrote in the blog today that I would ask you about this. You're at practice all the time. You're around these people, and you know everybody. Do you buy that this could be his last year?
No rhyme or reason, Tony, that it would be, other than I think people are just going to speculate. It's just going to happen every year until it does happen. And then they'll say they were right. It's like these prognosticators that are on the air, and they're like predicting this and that, and then they get one right.
Yep.
And they're like, I told you so. I predicted it from the very beginning. And they post on Twitter when they had a post in the early season. They were right 1 out of 10 times.
Sounds like negative to me.
Kind of like it was, Tony, on the air for you years ago. You had few things that were way out there, and if you got it right, you let everybody know you were right, and then when you're not right, you don't talk about it. And that's just how it is. And I don't have a reason to think that he would, but I think when he knows, he'll know, and I don't think anybody knows except for maybe his wife if he told her. I mean, he still has the passion over there.
See, I agree with that. He doesn't look checked out.
He's got the energy and the drive, and this is his life. And I don't know what he does outside of basketball and his personal life, outside of his faith.
He helps a lot of people.
If this is what he feels called to do, then he's going to continue to make an impact to when he's feels that it's time.
He helps a lot of people, Griff. I'll tell you that.
I've got it. Basketball marksmanship.
Bang! But I like Marky Mark and the Lunchy Bunch is where I'm leaning.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, it's kind of hey, Griff, okay, who's the key player tonight for the Vols on the way home?
Wow.
What happens? Who's the key guy? I'm going to go around the room. I ask everybody that.
I'll tell you the key guy is whoever's guarding Dominguez.
All right. Matt, who has the game? Who has the game for the Vols?
That's the key guy. Whoever's guarding him. Because I think I'm going to put it on the defensive end. And it may be multiple players.
Yes.
But they go in. They're doing their scout. They had their scout yesterday.
Yes.
And they're locked in on him. Now I'm not saying other players can't beat you, but they are pretty one-dimensional when it comes to scores. But here's the thing about A&M though. They've got several guys that are in double figures. They've got 2, 4. They've got 6 players that scored 10 points or more. So they've got some ammunition, but I definitely would focus on Dominguez and whatever combo they put on him from Tennessee's defensive side. I think that's your most valuable player because if you contain him, you win. And the turnovers will take care of itself, free throw shooting, but you just can't let them shoot a high percent and shoot 30-plus three-pointers on the road tonight, period.
Who pops, Matt, for the Vols tonight? Who's the pop player?
I think it's one of those 2 guards off the bench, either Amari Evans or Amari Abram. I think you're going to need 10 to 12, 10 to 15 from at least one of those guys to win. So one of those kind of bench guys in your backcourt.
John, who do you have? Who pops?
Well, I think Nate Ament because I think he gained some confidence in that Florida game. He went up against maybe the best front line in the country, and he's going to be playing against a team, as Mark pointed out. It's not great defensively. I think there will be a lot of opportunities for him. Open floor, he can go to the basket. He was creative looking for a shot in that Florida game. I thought, I look for that to carry over, and he'll be the guy.
Bri, who do you have popping tonight?
I'll say one of the post players, maybe a carry, hopefully Dwayne Brown perhaps. I really like what I see in Dwayne Brown. I don't think we've mentioned him yet, and he's really – he's a freshman, but that guy plays with a tenacity that just tells you that he's not afraid. He doesn't know that he's a freshman. And he's not just trying to feel his way through it. He's actually been very aggressive. So I'll say Dwayne Brown. He'll continue because I think A&M doesn't have much of an inside game. As Mark said, we can have some success there. So I'll give it to him.
I think that's right, Brian. I was going to go with Estrella if he's on the floor long enough.
Same here. I got to add one. I want to add when you're done. So
hit it. Hit the end one. Hit it.
Well, you're getting ready to say Estrella. I've got him on alert. I think Barnes has got him on alert. I've really been focusing in on him the last few games.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's concerned about his past injury, but I would like to see more effort defensively from him. Now, he's long, but I've seen him stand several times on blockouts in which, guys, you got to get low to the ground, bent knees.
Yeah.
And I think he relies too much on the length.
Yep.
I've not seen him on the floor one time this year defensively, trying to get 50-50 balls. I'm definitely going to be focusing on him tonight to see what effort he gives, more than normal effort. because you're right, Brian. You've got Dwayne Brown that's Mr. Effort. I think he really gets his players excited because of his effort. And I think Estrella pretty much just goes through the motions, guys. I'm going to call it the way I see it. I want to see more effort from him.
Hey, Griff, I love you. Incredible job by you today on what are we calling it?
That's basketball marksmanship if I ever heard it.
Hey, Griff, love you. Griff, we got everybody's fighting for the name of the damn show. Hey, Griff, love you. See you next Tuesday.
Just get a sponsor, Tony. That's all I ask.
Interesting. I want to say a special shout out. Make no mistake about it, to my man William Pattison, who's coming up next. He, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages, is over at Say It, Know It, and Write It Down. Where is he? Smoky Mountain Brewery, Turkey Creek. Go out and see those guys today. We love you. Peace.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Griff is so funny. So good. So great. I tell you what I got to do. I got to get a brief timeout in here, and John Adams is going to hold the fort down when this ends, because nature's calling for me in a bad, bad way. I'm wrecked right now. My bowels are in an uproar. Has that ever happened? I'm in an uproar. Can I say that in mixed company?
I wish you wouldn't even say it around me.
Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Basilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from B. Online at carnesmotor.com. Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company. Basilio here reminding you that when you want to sell your extra tickets to the game, you don't want to give your life away online with all your personal information just because you want to sell a few extra tickets. Clark Moore at Select Ticket Service will gladly buy your extra game tickets and your extra parking passes. And the best part? Clarky Boy pays cash.
Clarky Boy.
865-919-1016. 865-919-1016. Clarky Boy pays cash at Select Ticket Service.
Pays cash.
Clarky Boy pays cash.
It's pretty outstanding as I got back in here pretty quickly. I might have to leave again.
Hey, just move on.
Huh?
Just move it. Just drop that.
Matt?
It's lunchtime. Tony, come on. Snap out of it.
All right, let's get back to this quarterback thing. Matt, what are we going to do? Are we going to talk somebody in, or are we going to take a camp arm? What's your prediction here between now and Friday?
I think you end up with more of a camp arm than anything else.
Talk somebody in, John, or camp arm? What do they do? Because they went hard last night at this Sam Levitt guy. Hard.
That was desperate, I thought. And
And if you're desperate,
if you're desperate, you're going to call your reps. Will call somebody else's
right.
rep and
That's
say,
right.
"Hey,
that's right.
you need to go in the portal, and we'll make it worth your while."
Now, look, I don't pretend to know like what your motives are, but you can do the context clue thing here. If I thought my quarterback was on my campus next year, I wouldn't have been reaching out to that representative of LSU. Pete Nakos is not going to put that out for his health last night, and there were other people saying, and then you put the 2 and 2 together. The other kid got tired of waiting for him because he thought Tennessee was going to cinch that thing up yesterday afternoon. And then his people, see, that's the thing about the business that's done now is that it's like a condensed recruiting format where everything is that last weekend in February. It's all like in hyperspace. And I was talking to somebody that covers the Tennessee beat last night. We were comparing notes and not laughing about it, but laughing about it because it's silly. It's not a laughing matter, but it's worth laughing about because it's just so absurd what's happened in the sport. And Tennessee, Prebula thought he was coming to Tennessee yesterday. Prebula thought by the end of the day we'll have something signed and I'm going to play my ball at Tennessee. He also had an offer from Virginia. Obviously, if you can play at Tennessee and play in the SEC and stay at Tennessee and stay in the SEC, you're going to play at Tennessee and play under Heupel. Tennessee obviously didn't feel 100% comfortable in that choice, and they were trying to talk Sam Leavitt back in the boat. Now, we know Lane Kiffin came up here and pulled a stunt, and we know LSU is going to money whip everybody. So that's definitely a thing and a real thing. But we know with Tennessee trying to either get Prebula or Leavitt, but especially Leavitt, that they don't feel comfortable with the two guys they have against the schedule they're going to play next year, even with the Penn State additions. So I'm going to ask you, the living listener now, do you believe Tennessee tries to talk somebody else into the portal? With the Stampier guy's name has come up, but there are other people around the country, here, there, and everywhere, that they might go, knock on a door, make a phone call, take a step that is new, see a lovable face that sees your face. Three's Company too. But then the question becomes, if it does become Three's Company, the question becomes, do you at that point, does GMAC jump into the portal? John, I was told by somebody in the business, just asking around on GMAC, what would his market be? And the guy I talked to said pretty much next to nothing. Now, it is ironic right now that there's a USC quarterback who's a redshirt freshman, but that's more of the same for Tennessee. He's the only guy in the top 25 that's not signed. You're not doing that.
No,
that's not an adult thing to do. That's a real desperation thing to do when you're bringing him in. That's a Butch Jones thing to do. That's signing somebody to sign somebody. And I don't think this guy's going to do that, speaking of our head coach. It is ironic, Matt, though, that Tennessee's now down. Prebula, I believe, was 26 on the list on the On3 rankings. And number 27, John, let's see how good you are, is
Jake Merklinger.
That's right.
Although Prebula was ranked higher on ESPN's, ESPN had him at 18. So
yeah,
I think that's too low for him. The 26th or 27th. Could you bring Jake Merklinger back? He knows the system.
I mean,
if you need to have a third person,
they don't think he can play at all, or he'd still be on the campus.
Yeah, it's kind of telling he doesn't have a landing spot yet.
Yeah, he doesn't have a market. There's not a market for him. Yeah, that's the reality of it.
There are lower classifications. He could go to the Sun Belt.
That's true.
Can he?
That's true. No, that's a truth.
Yeah.
I mean,
is that what about this, though? You guys mentioned the quarterback at Kennesaw State.
Yes.
Is that almost insulting to the two quarterbacks you have to go drop down that much?
I don't think. Matt said the Kennesaw State kid who's committed to Syracuse, and that happens to Syracuse all the time in the portal right now. They've got guys that they think are going to go there,
and they just can't
the
pay
big boys
enough.
Come in. Texas
Yeah.
did it to them last year. Come in and buy them right out from under you.
Sure.
They're a holding place. Syracuse is a holding place.
Yeah, you just you go to the portal and then you go to Syracuse. It's like a two-step process.
They're like a portal extension. And those of you that are Star Trek fans, what would be the extension of the portal be?
Yeah.
Help me out with that.
They're just out there in space in a little capsule.
Yeah, let's get interstellar. They're like orbiting something.
God, it's so.
I believe, though, the tell is that they're not comfortable with what they have. Otherwise, they're not going hard after the guy from Arizona State last night who ends up signing with LSU. I think that's your tell. And that tells you everything you need to know. And obviously, they didn't feel good enough about Purbulla that they would have signed him yesterday afternoon and just said, okay, we're done with that. We got our quarterback thing put to bed. I think it's odd, like Matt said, that they didn't have a list. Once their 3 or 4 guys fell apart or fell through, they didn't have a guy in the group of 5. They didn't have a guy in 1AA. They didn't have a developmental guy that they could have or somebody they could have taken a flyer on. They feel like they're scrambling at quarterback, and that's a weird thing to say out loud.
How about this?
Yeah.
How about this? Trinidad Chambliss, his attorneys filed a lawsuit against the NCAA trying to get him eligibility. He was denied another year of eligibility.
Yeah.
Ole Miss has moved on. It's gotten Deuce Knight from Auburn, a former 4 or 5-star, a great runner. Good
great
arm.
athlete.
Yeah, great athlete. I don't know how he'll be as an SEC quarterback, but what if Chambliss won his case and he suddenly becomes eligible?
Miami would pay him $7 million. That's what would happen.
Well, maybe Miami already has a quarterback by then. Maybe who can Miami? Maybe Miami gets Devin Dampier. I don't know.
They're gonna get somebody.
You know they'll get somebody.
They're linked to. People think that they're the ones that are crazy enough to throw that kind of money at Simpson. Matt, would you make another run at Simpson? What would you do at this point? Or are we camp arming it?
I mean, I don't know. I just don't know what the options are. Like, I don't think Simpson would be very realistic.
Lagway's off the board, right? Lagway off the board. He went to Baylor, or is he?
He went to Baylor.
Committed to Baylor, but he's
sign.
still taking visits, which is hilarious.
Maybe you kick the tires on him. Desperate times, and maybe they fall into him. Maybe they can fix him.
Are you that? I don't know about that. I don't like his career trajectory right now.
I agree with that. What about Nico? Pick the phone up and call him. I'm not kidding.
You want to deal with the dad?
Back to the phones we go. That's the other thing too. The Levitt guy has a crazy brother around him.
Isn't his brother his agent?
Yeah, and Lane sent him packing the first time when that kid from Washington got eligible, and that blew up in their face. And then Lane came crawling back, chasing him back like he was like he was like a 27-year-old. Well, never mind. Yeah. Let's go back to our phone. But he came running back at the airport. Like, that's a thing you do, when you point. It's like, what was the love story that Rob Reiner did? Was it When Harry Met Sally?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing you do. Or like a final scene in Sleepless in Seattle or something. You come running back for this quarterback like it's your love. You can't let your lover get away. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
That's an odd analogy.
Like a lot of
what's
people.
up, Tony?
Hey, welcome
Brian in Bryson City.
Hey, good to talk to you in Bryson City.
Hey, I'm glad you guys got to it. That's what I've been thinking about for almost a week now. Why are we not just going after two, whether it's FBS quarterbacks, whatever, just lower-level quarterbacks, two, and give them a shot? Like, let's see who's hungry enough, who can do it. I mean, why can't Heupel do that? Get an Aguilar type guy, or even less.
I think an issue with that is you would like to think that the quarterbacks you have, though lacking in experience, would be superior to that kind of quarterback.
If you sign a guy, J-Mac's leaving, is my belief.
Well,
but he's just too small. I mean, I thought we talked to his family. That's what I heard. I mean, he's just too small to put out there.
Yeah, he's too small.
So I don't know. Where's he going to go? I mean, if his market is zero.
Well, I'm just telling you that's their fear. Look, kids and their family, everybody can tell you, hey, everything's good. But the minute you pull that trigger, I'm just telling you, they have a level of fear there that they're almost preparing for. Like if they would have signed Levitt, they knew he was leaving. They knew it. They just
so don't sign your quarterback till after the portal closes.
Yeah, you can do that, Matt. But then again, you'd have to talk somebody in, or you're taking table scraps at that point.
Could somebody challenge that rule, though?
Of course.
Absolutely. And isn't it, if you're a graduate transfer, the portal thing, like the window doesn't apply to you? Is that still a thing?
So for the fifth-year transfers, I got to make a phone call on that. I don't know the answer to that, Matt.
I don't think it does apply. If you're
fifth-year transfer.
Yeah.
Or fifth-year guy.
So
you get your fifth year.
So you know what? Maybe Tennessee will run it back in the spring.
Yeah, that would mean you'd get somebody that didn't participate in spring practice, which obviously isn't ideal.
Probably, and that's the crazy thing is, Matt, if they would have landed this kid last night, Russell Smith made a good point. There was no guarantees a kid from Arizona State was going to be available for spring practice. And you're paying all that money to a guy.
I don't think he is. I don't think he can participate in spring.
I mean, that's wild.
I think that's kind of known.
That's wild.
What is wrong with his? What's wrong with his foot?
Liz Frank injury. So, what do you think, Bryson City? Or is there anybody near you want to recommend? Is there a young Scholler running around, or talk to me here?
Yeah, maybe we'll I heard somebody say that a few days ago.
Navy.
Scholler. No, I mean, in all honesty, I can't. I don't know. I don't know of any. There's got to be with this 47 analysts. You have to know of other people out there, just in case. But I am with you guys. I'm super glad. I'm not high on Levitt. Maybe at a couple $1 million, but I think it's such a gamble with that injury. So I just say give somebody else a shot. That's just where I'm at because GMAC's not ready. I want the guy to be ready. That's the thing. I think last year, mentally and what he's doing on the field, he's the guy, but he's not big enough.
Yeah, when you're just not big enough, you're just not big enough, you know?
He's tall enough.
So where is he going to transfer to that his size won't matter? You know, that's the thing.
Right, I know. Yeah, and he seems like a great kid, and obviously that's a great family.
Well, maybe he'll stay here and develop and gain weight in a few years from now.
Sure. Hey, maybe they roll him out there next fall, and he's a revelation. You know, that's sort of how things have gone with Heupel. If they throw him out there and he's great, and he balls out, it would be right on cue because I'm telling you, they don't think the guy's ready. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been on the phone trying to talk Sam Levitt off that ledge. So maybe this is another chapter in this saga we've seen here.
They didn't want to roll with Hendon Hooker when they first came here.
They didn't want to roll with Joey Aguilar last year. That wasn't their plans. I mean, you know. And the Aguilar thing, by the way, they think that is the longest of long shots. You talk to anybody around it, they think it's the longest of long shots. And that judge yesterday basically convened everybody to say, hey, look, I'm not worried about your time clock, and I'm not worried about your portal, this thing. That doesn't concern me. I got other things to do. We're going to talk to you all in a couple weeks, which is not a good sign either, by the way. But anything else for us, Bryson City?
No, that's all for me. I appreciate what Aguilar did, but it's a long shot. It's not going to happen.
Thank you, brother. Good talking to you.
Yeah, man.
Yes, 865-200-5402. You know, this thing is it's an interesting thing. It's and everybody sees your business now, John. That's the thing about it. Like in recruiting, you don't see the pieces fall in place like this.
I tell you what it does do, though. It reminds us of how, I don't want to say insignificant, but how the impact of high school recruiting has been severely downgraded.
It's diminished. Yeah.
You've mentioned earlier when we had Kevin Skarbinski on, and I know your YouTubers love talking about Bama, but losing the way Alabama lost those, you develop these players. That was the old model. It's not the model anymore. When they're developed, then you go get them. That's when you get them, not before. You get them after.
I mean, look at the Ross kid, right? Everybody was so excited, and rightfully so. He's a nice player. He's on somebody else's roster now. And I believe that both those guys are on somebody else's roster because our defensive coordinator said that's not what I want in my ends. We're doing something differently here.
What was that they were doing differently?
Well, they're just too little. He wants bigger guys.
Tim Banks wanted little guys, are you saying? He
He
wanted tiny people?
I don't know that Tim Banks knew what he wanted.
He wanted tiny people.
But he had the 1 year where everybody kind of developed and was on the roster, and they hit it. Matt, would you go back after the kid whose father's a street fighter from Utah and try to add him to your roster? The kid that just became available.
Who?
Who was in their signing class?
Oh, I would assume he's probably.
Oh, you know where he's going?
Well,
I'm sorry. He's going to Michigan.
Is he going to go to Michigan?
That's right.
I would guess.
Stop myself. That's the other thing about this. There's so many damn moving parts. I do know this, and I wrote this today on the blog. And John, I want your thoughts on this. Look, the On3 people and the 247 people and the ESPN people are trying to quantify these transfer portal classes. And what On3's doing is they're saying, okay, Tennessee had 23 guys go into the portal, and I guess another guy last night, whatever the number is. And they've pulled now 12 or 13 out with a guy they got today, 13 out. And their class is now number 19 because, and this is the way it works, Jordan Ross had a bunch of stars and he went in. Boo Carter had a bunch of stars and he went in. And they punish you for that. Now, here's the thing I'll say to you, everybody listening. I want you all's thoughts on this. How in the world do you punish Tennessee when Boo Carter went into the portal, and you're going to tell me that your formula accounts for that when he's not a playable player? And here's the thing. There are Boo Carters at every school that have washed out, that have gone into the portal. On3, I got news for you. All your people that you rank as 4- and 5-star players are not 4- and 5-star players. They're not. Now, they're never going to say that's the case. But there are a lot of guys that go into the portal as 4- and 5-star players, John, who are really 2- and 1-star players.
I'm always amused when they talk about a transfer portal. Someone gets a transfer, and you read the info on him, and all included in the story is always he's a 4- or 5-star coming out of such and such high school. Well, he's not in high school anymore. What did he do last season?
Yes.
When I look at what Texas has done,
yes.
We mentioned about it getting the running back from NC State, Hollywood or Hollywood Weird, as you call him, Smothers. It also got 2 ACC linebackers. I mean, there's no question there. You've got proven commodities.
Players that can play.
I don't want to hear about well, he was a 4-star coming out of high school. He didn't play much last year as a freshman at whatever school. So it's almost as though you're still getting a guy with potential. When you go into the portal, to me, you should be getting a proven commodity.
Yeah. And just because you had 4 stars by your name doesn't mean you're proven and doesn't mean you've proven anything in college ball. And that's what their formula. Dixon, do you stand with me on that? I think like Tennessee's class last night was like 19, snapshot in time. What does that even mean? I mean, how do you know? How does anybody know? We don't know. Why not just saying we don't know?
Can't do that. That doesn't sell.
Because, Matt, they don't know, right? They don't know. There's no way you can know.
No, because you're reevaluating a lot of times kids that didn't play or played very sparingly. for a year or two. So it's hard to judge how much they've improved or are just not panned out like you thought compared to, that 2-star guy that didn't even have a recruiting profile that was really, really good at some G5 school 2 or 3 years. Like you have data on those people. So yeah, you can't, once you get a year or two into college, what you were ranked in high school is meaningless in this portal era.
Barnes T.O. said, that's exactly right. Barnes T.O. says the Vols transfer in average is top 3, though. Hey, listen, I don't buy that either. You don't know that. I mean, I wasn't saying it because my team was at 19. No. I don't buy that either. You don't know. None of us know till they hit the field, till you watch a few games. And you know how I know that? When I watch those odds makers take a team on a power ranking and they'll adjust them after 1 month, and now we've seen it for a couple years, they'll adjust them 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points, John. And they're the people that are doing it with big buildings. And if they don't know, there's no way in hell On3 knows. So those of you that want to compete for these mythical transfer recruiting championships and worry about those rankings, I don't worry about that. And I don't need somebody to blow smoke at me. Well, we're 3 in the transfer in. Bullshit. What does that even mean? You're 3 in the transfer in? I mean, what? That's idiotic. Look, I don't believe the 19 number, and I don't believe the 3 number. I don't believe those numbers. Because we don't know. And it's okay to say you don't know. It's okay to say you don't know.
But I think when you add a player who's made first, second, third team, even all conference,
sure,
from another Power 4 conference, that's something tangible. You can say he's done it.
Give me veteran players. Give me proven veteran. What's this thing Signetti said that Skarbinski said in the first hour?
He's production over potential.
He told that kid, that wide receiver, Surratt, who came from St. Francis of Pennsylvania, 0-star player, unranked, nobody knew who he was. So, just so you know, St. Francis is a Division III non-scholarship. That kid paid his first year in school, paid his way. Signetti's staff found him. They brought him to James Madison and scholarshiped him. He looked at that kid when he took him to Indiana, and the Surratt kid said, "Why are you taking us with you?" I saw Signetti say this. And he said, because you can play. Because you can play at that level. I wouldn't take you if I didn't think you could play at that level.
Yeah,
there's a kid sitting there going, did you take us because we're good luck charms? Because we're 0-star players. And he said, we went out on the field at Indiana and we were like, oh, man, we're just as good as these Big Ten. We can play with these guys.
When you look at Indiana, I can't remember seeing them drop a pass.
And this kid they have from Nashville, nobody wanted him. Like, they were trying to beg their way onto some teams. Nobody wanted that guy. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. It's Zach Attack from E-Town.
Hey,
on
Zachy.
our way back from Ashland City.
Good to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks for we're almost to Knoxville. We're going to go to the game tonight.
Nice.
Let me ask you this. Why is McIntyre, what makes him why is he not a viable option for your number one, being 6'6", 195 as he's listed? Is it just his size?
John, do you believe he's 6'6", 195?
That's what it says.
I have no idea exactly what he is, but I do know that, and Tony's made this point again and again, and we didn't see enough of him on the field to really make any projections whatsoever, but what Tony has been pointing out, Tennessee has made desperate moves here in the 11th hour of the portal, trying to get guys. So that sends a message that they aren't that confident in going forward with the quarterbacks they have. But I don't think even if talent or size weren't the issue, the experience factor. You look at Bryce Underwood at Michigan this year, obviously a talented quarterback.
Yeah.
But when you watched him against Oklahoma, against the Brent Venables defense, he couldn't process quickly enough. I think he was 9 out of 24 passing. I think that's a real concern. I think it should be a concern. Aguilar came in here, and forget how many stars he had by his name. Aguilar's been playing a lot of football. Different places. He's had to learn different offenses. He came in here and learned an offense. You need guys that can process information at quarterback, that can process information, and that can make accurate throws.
I think that's right.
That's why Ty Simpson is so valuable.
But Ty Simpson sat for 4 years. Mm-hmm. See, the thing with the McIntyre guy, I'm back to this again, is they tell me he's not gaining weight at all. And some people say he's got some kind of health thing. I don't know to speak to that. I don't know that.
You don't want to just throw some medical stuff out there?
Yeah, it's not my style. But
well, can I just add something real quick? I mean, so it may be intangibles. I was reading an article this morning. I don't know, John, if you wrote it or it was on GoVols.com about the weight gain that they implemented for Nate Ament. Can't they do that and put? Because I mean, I want to say Peyton was around maybe 6'5", 210 when he.
Yeah, I remember.
When he started.
That's a good point. I remember Peyton. He was very thin, and it's just hard to compare anybody to Peyton, though, because he was so unusually talented. And we talked about processing information. I mean, even though he was that thin and he bulked up over his time here, I think one of the main reasons Peyton didn't go pro after his junior season, when he might have been the first guy taken in the draft, Peyton wanted to get another layer of armor on his body. He wanted to build up even more, because when he left here, there was nothing thin about him. I mean, the guy had muscle, and I think that was a big factor. So you can get by with somebody like that, I guess. But remember also about Peyton, man, he got rid of the ball so quick, and he knew what he was doing.
Man.
So he just didn't take that many hits. Even in the NFL, he didn't take that many hits.
And see, that's the other thing that's different about the game today.
You got 2 seconds.
You got to carry the ball in this guy's offense. You've got to be a willing runner for this thing to be effective.
Would Josh Heupel take a young Peyton Manning? He would.
You've got to be a willing runner of the football. You know, my favorite thing that's happened here in the last 20 years is Bob Welton and Butch Jones ignoring Brian Hartman's quarterback when he was on a visit down there in Jacksonville, their quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, and the father walking up to those guys and saying, "Why are you guys treating my son?" And he said, "Well, we just don't think he fits."
Butch might have thought he was too tall.
And you know, going back to Sunday, we had Juwan Jennings, who could have thrown the ball a little bit too, but
what a pass he threw in that playoff game! That looked like a veteran NFL quarterback making that throw to.
I love Juwan Jennings, man. Love him.
He's got the highest quarterback rating of all time. I think he's actually got the possible highest rating for any NFL quarterback all time in playoff history. I think that's a minimum of like 5 passes or something. It's pretty wild.
I didn't know he'd thrown that many.
I think it's maybe he's thrown 3 touchdowns or something like that, maybe 2. But I could be wrong. But Tony, we're going to the game tonight, so I'll shout you after the game tonight. Let's go Vols! Love the show. I love Mark Madness. See ya.
Shout it out loud.
See that?
Timothy McGee says, Sean Adams, how are quarterbacks on the bench? How are they supposed to get experience if you don't allow 2 quarterbacks on the bench? Just look at Manning, Clausen, and EA. They didn't have any experience until they got the nod. I think John agrees with you, Timothy. Here's the deal. We in our business have to judge these guys by not what they say, but by what they do. A wise man once told me on here, and I'm trying to remember who it was. It's Chris Burke. Burke, so let me tell you something about coaches. Don't listen to them. Watch them. He said coaches aren't going to tell you the truth. But when you watch who they play
when they play, I was asking him some things about Vitello. He said, you'll figure all that out, how they feel about guys. When it's time to get serious, who's out there? When it's time to bring that relief pitcher in from the bullpen, who's the first one they call? They can say all they want. I love this guy. I love that guy. If they thought that George McIntyre was their quarterback next season, they would not have been trying to talk that kid back into the boat last night, and they would not have been flirting with this Prabula guy
but
they did.
But it's a good question, though, because,
it's a great question.
Because, it depends on your situation. I mean, there are guys that come in and can do it right away. But the fact that they're going after these other players tells you they're not sure either one of these guys could do it right away. Certainly a true freshman. But you look at Josh Heupel's situation going into his 6th season. He just had slight decline. He was 8-5 this year. And now you're going in and playing the toughest schedule he's faced in Tennessee. This is a big boy schedule. It's much tougher than these 2 interim schedules the SEC handed Tennessee.
See, I would have thought, John, they would have swung a miss on the 2 guys they wanted, which we heard the whole time. The 2 guys they really wanted was the Sorsby guy and the guy from Arizona State that almost fell to him. But you had to have. You got 50 analysts. You have to have a list.
I thought there were only 47.
Okay. You got 47 analysts. You've got to have a list, like Matt said earlier in the show, of 5 guys.
How did...
But we don't know that they don't. But right now, why would they be fooling... Matt, I just can't believe they were fooling around with Bo Prabula. I just can't believe...
He's not that bad, Tony.
That the 47 guys over there, Matt, are suggesting Bo Prabula? I mean, I'm sorry. I don't get that, Matt. You talk about a pond that's like the kiddie pool that you're trying to fish quarterbacks out of? It's like the kiddie pool.
He's standing tall in the kiddie pool, though.
Shit.
Throwing.
He's terrible.
Got SEC experience, but he's definitely more of a runner than passer, unless they just think that he was just misused in that offense.
Maybe.
That he can throw the ball.
He didn't have a great receiving core. He wasn't throwing to Luther Burden any.
It's just really weird that they didn't have
a plan, a quarterback plan. You would think when you go into the portal. No, you would think way before you go into the portal that you know what you're going to do at quarterback for the next season.
I would think.
Of course you do.
Look.
You have to.
Look, again, I'm going to say, and I'm not comparing the sports, but the Dalton Connect thing did not happen overnight. They initiated with him like 3 months before the season ended, basically. The Lanier thing last year did not just happen overnight. They initiated with him like in late December. They started fooling around with that Yuri Collins guy that they had committed, and Matt will remember this. Brian and I and Matt were talking about it off the air like in mid-December that year. And your guard or your shooting guard or your point guard, Gillespie last year, they started talking to in early January. And the portal wasn't opening for months.
Well, so we hear this stuff about there's a rule against tampering.
10 weeks.
There's a rule against tampering.
What rule?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Right. You need to approach this as if there are no rules. We hear that all the time. We keep hearing Wild Wild West. Well, that's what it is. There are no rules. You're just out there. You're driving down a highway in West Texas, and the speed limit sign might say 80.
Yeah.
But no, it's no. There's no sign.
I was talking to somebody in the industry yesterday that was saying, if this commission is real, this commission that everybody's afraid of, like the big bad wolf, how is Texas Tech going to justify in their little market paying all this money for all these guys when they have about 4,000 TV households in Lubbock? Our market here is like 20 times bigger than their market there.
But
no offense.
But Tony,
what are you talking about?
You know this clearinghouse for NIL deals.
It's a rubber stamp.
Oh, once somebody challenges that in court, it just disappears.
Off with your head. But I'm going to go back to our phones. Before I do, shout out to my friends at VIP Play. If you're listening to me and you're an NFL fan, you took my advice last night, you know damn right well that the Steelers got their kingdom torn down. It's their worst home loss in playoff history. Brian, how does that make you feel today that the Houston Texans marched on and stood tall and represented your division very well, Brian? Don't you feel great about it?
No, I don't. I feel like that the Jags aren't the real division champs now because the Texans have now won 10 in a row, and they're going to go further in the playoffs. So,
what do you think of Lamb Weirdo's Steelers last night?
At least the Jaguars scored a touchdown in their playoff game, unlike
Lamb Weirdo and Steeler Nation. When you going to
Rodgers did throw a TD pass on his last NFL snap of his career. I got to hand it to him.
When you going to pull the plug on this head coach, Steeler Nation? They love being the franchise, John, that has only had 3 head coaches. You covered them, right? They love that. That's their DNA,
well,
right?
I go back to the senior, Art Rooney Sr., who started that. And going back to Art Rooney Sr., he was back. The Steelers were the worst franchise in the NFL at one point.
Yep.
And he was in charge of it. But they did an incredible job in the draft. His son, Art Rooney Jr., managed personnel department, and they hit it big. In the late 60s and going into the 70s, they were armed for a dynasty, and those guys all developed into big stars. So but you're right. They had continuity. They've done things differently. The Rooney family takes pride in that, and they've made good decisions on coaches. They really have. So, do you think Mike Tomlin now is
He's just out of time. I mean, you got to go to something else.
But. What do you think his problem is? Why is it or is it just the talent?
Time for somebody else. I mean, if by his performance, they would go get somebody. Chuck Noll would look at him and say, "Hey, it's
time to get on with your life's work."
And ladies and gentlemen, your life's work might be a great day at VIP Play today, for all I know. I mean, there's a full card today in the NHL and the NBA.
I like that Tennessee 9.5 over A&M. I like take over the over on that.
And I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, 200-plus leagues, numerous bet types, props options. You've got some is it the Australian? It's the Australian Open that's going on right now, right? Middle of the night in tennis.
I'm sure it is.
It's very next level. 200-plus leagues. If you have a bet in mind.
Australian Open.
It's great stuff. I love it. I'm in a tennis household. Oh, absolutely. I love it. Yeah, you can find some great value. When you look into the margins, you come over here and hang out. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take you under my wing when the Winter Olympics starts, and I'm going to get you watching curling in a real and profound way. I'm going to change your life.
I don't want to be under your wing.
You know Ken Pom from the Ken Pom ratings?
Oh, yeah.
He started his site as a curling site.
That explains a lot.
He is a Ichiban. He's the Ichiban curling fan, and it's all about numbers. VIP Play where everybody gets treated like a VIP. And tonight, Bri, speaking of numbers, our Tennessee Volunteers against that A&M bunch with Buckyball in town are what, Brian?
Tennessee is a 8.5 point favorite. They were like a 9 to 10 point favorite, so it's been bet down just a little bit, but they're still a significant favorite at home.
I'd give those points.
Play the Vols to cover and roll.
Last week,
Buckyball going down.
Yeah, last week it was Texas. Tennessee covered at home against
Texas. You called
Texas.
that shot. They were bad, man. That Texas team was.
God, I can't believe they beat Alabama.
Alabama, that team. Let's go back to the phones. Okay, here's a super chat from Berkeley TN 4500. Is hype showing he's more incompetent, unprepared, or lackadaisical in this quarterback coaching search. I think that's a false.
No, he's asking which one is he? Is he
showing he's more incompetent, unprepared, or lackadaisical?
Is all of the above? Can that be one of the answers?
John, stop. That's not true.
Well, say them again one more time.
It's just hard.
Say it again. Why is it so hard? Why did Kentucky get a transfer quarterback?
Hey, I didn't do it. This is verbal, bro. I didn't do it. Let's go back to our phones and get our next call in. It is a little odd. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, this is Josh from North Alabama. How are y'all today?
Hey, Josh. Good to talk to you. North Alabama.
Yes, sir. On the transfer quarterback thing and on roster, man, just a couple of things I was wondering as far as like thinking outside the box, for moving forward, putting a team together.
Yep.
One for the quarterback thing, when you know there are 2 or 3 schools that are just going to outspend everybody if they have to, whether it's going to work or not, in the industry who they're going to target. Why do you even fool with those guys? For one.
Well, Josh, I don't think Tennessee's short on money. I think it's got money. Now, maybe it doesn't have Texas Tech money or Texas money, but I think it does have money, so it may go in thinking we can spend that much.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. But another thing, too, if I was recruiting, I would basically, for high school kids, I would sign 2 types of kids. I would sign your David Sanders, Tristan Keys types that I thought could be immediate difference makers. And then I would sign your Deshaun Bishop's local kids that you thought you might could develop. And everything else in the middle, I would probably let it go prove itself somewhere else, because I don't know how much, like they signed like 10 defensive linemen in this freshman class. I don't know how much they had to pay each of those kids, but you're going to have to pay them all for a couple of years. Then half of them are going to leave. Wouldn't you be better off to go get 6 kids out of the portal and not, maybe you don't have 85 players, maybe you only have 70, but they're all contributors, and you save and you kind of invest your money more wisely?
Oh, I agree with you. I think I'm opposed to signing a huge high school class. I don't think that's the way to go. I don't think you need 20 high school players. I would go below that and go heavy in the portal and get proven players.
Yeah, like get some kids that, some lower ranked kids that you may think you can develop, and then go get the day one starter types, and then everyone else. Like, why spend all this money on all these kids that are not going to be there when you may have to overpay in the portal? But wouldn't you save money if you didn't have to pay 3 people that position for 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, but see, here's the other thing. You talk about getting the stars, and I think David Sanders will be a star at offensive tackle. When you're good enough to start in the SEC as a true freshman, that speaks well for where your career's headed. But they go back to Nico. I mean, and all the money Tennessee paid Nico with quarterbacks. I don't care how many stars they have or how good they look at these elite
7-on-7
7-on-7 elite hype quarterback camp. You don't know. I would get the portal guys every time.
The quarterback, I agree. Like, the only quarterback I would sign out of high school was somebody that like the development kid that you hope eventually could transfer and be a starter at Rice or somewhere, and sell him on coming in and being the backup, and then your starter. Because especially at the quarterback position, like, they can have all the talent in the world, but the high school game and the college game are so different with all they have to process. How do you know this kid's going to be able to do it?
You know what the really smart programs are going to do? They're going to start using some of these lower division teams as their farm systems. In other words, hey, Jerry Mack, if we put a quarterback there that we want to kind of develop and we help you pay him, can you let him play down there and then keep people away from him? These teams are eventually going to start doing that. You can laugh at me for saying that.
No,
that's eventually going to start happening.
yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea.
But you can't keep the people away, though.
No, I know.
That's the problem. You can't keep them away.
I understand.
You think of them as being on your team, but no, each player is on his own team, and he's got his own representatives, and he's got his agents or whatever you want to call them. They're managing his interest. They're looking out for him, not for his team.
If it's me, I'm signing 15 to 18 guys and keeping my powder dry mostly. I'm signing 15 to 18 guys out of high school that
more than that
I know can really play. I'm not signing 27
I read an
guys.
article about Ohio State. And one of their writers said they don't expect them to sign but about 15 high school players next year.
If you're serious about this, why would you waste your money?
Yeah, and why waste your money on signing, multitudes of players when you can have just a handful? Because, if you can't win with 70, you're not going to win because you have 15 more warm bodies on your team, I don't think. But
and the
anyway.
SEC has now allowed these teams to go to 105 signees. Who in the world's going to sign to 105? I mean, I know they passed that, but who in the world could manage 105 players on the roster?
Yeah,
playable players. That makes no sense to me.
Have a good day, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that represents our final call, and we only have 166 likes, so we know the rules around here. Matt, do you have anything else you'd care to add, or John?
No, it should be a fun game tonight. Hopefully Tennessee bounces back and protects their home court.
Oh, boy.
Well, since Matt provided a last word on basketball, I'll give one on football.
Yeah.
Tennessee fans driving around town, driving throughout the area, if you see somebody that you think can throw a football, go talk to him. Judge his interest in the Vols, and maybe he's got some eligibility. Don't be shaking your head, Tony.
Brian, you have a final thought for us? Maybe a word of encouragement for Steeler Nation, Brian.
Wait, let me ask Brian. Brian, if you as Mike Griffith could get a quarterback, who would you get?
He's asking you in Mike Griffith's voice. You can have any quarterback. He doesn't know. He's not vibing with what you're laying down
I'm speechless.
No, you're not. What about some guys out in California, maybe? Some former players, you could bring them back. Who would you bring?
I would bring Jawan Jennings back to see if he's got some more eligibility. Maybe he's got some eligibility to play quarterback.
Who were you?
Casey Clausen. That was Griff's big guy.
You just said California, so I'm thinking, Jawan Jennings. He's in California.
No, he's from...
That's tongue-in-cheek, Tone.
Okay, I apologize. That was a bad question. I've given Brian a few questions and he's knocked it out of the park.
Hey Matt, what do you think of the YouTubers hating on the Skarbinski segment? Did you hate the Skarbinski segment today, Matt?
I thought it ran a little long. Personally.
About you, John. Do you think it ran long?
No, but I've known Kevin for more than 40 years. He's a really good columnist, and I like Kevin. So I'm interested in that. I think if you're following a team, and you made this point, you need to know what's going on with the competition too. And I thought that was some of the same things that could apply to Tennessee, apply to Alabama now.
Back to the phones wants to know, Matt, if Ament maybe could help us a quarterback in the fall. He said he weighs about what GMAC does, but he's been around 7 feet tall.
How about a McIntyre to Ament pass?
Oh, how many guys have played college basketball down through the years that could have lined up a tight end and made a lot of money doing it, or defensive end doing it? Man. I mean, tons of them. This Carey guy from
Do you believe that LeBron could not have made an NFL roster?
Shit. LeBron could probably go out next summer and make an NFL roster. He's such a good athlete. At the age of 40.
Do they still test in the NFL?
Interesting. I don't know if they test anywhere. The only people that get caught in this testing, John, are these Latin kids that don't know how to read the labels. Till we meet again. I mean, how else do they get caught? I mean, is that a politically incorrect thing to say, Matt? I'm sorry. They're the only ones that get caught. I didn't do it. Who else gets caught? Come on, Diskin. Jump in there.
Nobody gets caught anymore.
Nobody gets caught.
For anything.
Well,
in any sport.
In the major leagues, they're
it's the Latin American kids. Pretty much.
And really, if you can't read the
Label.
Bible, you may not know. You don't know you're violating the rules.
That's my point. I mean, you think you're taking cold medicine.
Yeah.
And, you
got congestion. You're trying to
and you
breathe.
And you wake up with 27-inch pythons. And a Wilbur the Worm. John, thank you. It was a lot of fun. Presented by Jennifer Morris. Next move, SmokyMountains.com. Matt, see you tonight. It'll be incredible. Brian, thank you. See you tonight. It'll be incredible. And we love you. We appreciate you. I'll be on plaster here in a couple hours, but listen anyway. And Dixon thought our segment went long today. Do you like how we're all honest with each other? It's kind of fun, right?
Are you honest with us all the time?
I wasn't real happy with Bride spitting on your bit there at the end.
Well, but he's done so well at that, and I guess I got overconfident, and I reached for that. I reached for it.
And a guy in the chat said, "Would y'all get to 200 likes so Basilio doesn't have to berate us?" Because I'll berate the YouTubers. Because likes are how people find the deal, and the show's really growing over on YouTube.
Is it really?
Yeah, we've grown to like 1,000 people in the last little bit. But
I hope I've contributed in some small way to that, Tony.
Big way.
Oh,
big way.
Great. Yeah, has Brian contributed?
A whole lot.
How about...
But the guy said get in there and hit the like button before he berates us today. Because I do berate them.
Yeah, but with you, it's just...
It's love.
No, it's not love, but it's an act.
No, it's not an act. Not with those brain donors, it's not. But anyway, I appreciate you saying that, though.
No, you tell me off air that you think you have a lot of bright people in that.
A chat?
Yeah.
There's 200, and there were at one point 330 people in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Combined IQ. 330 people. Let's see. Plant life is 75. Let me do my math here. Somebody help me out in the chat. If there's 330 of
that would be, if they all had 100 IQ, it would be 3,330 IQ.
But they don't. So let's go to plant life at 75, and then I'd adjust
Plant life is not that high.
75? No?
No, it's not.
Look up the IQ of plant life.
Is this what my career has come down to?
Now we have 190 likes, so people are liking this, Sean.
IQ of plant life.
Yes.
Got it. I'm Googling it as we speak.
I bet you it's like 55.
Plants are intelligent. Oh, wow. I didn't see that coming. You maybe need to get some of these plants in the portal.
What's the number? That's why you talk to plants, because they're intelligent.
It's not giving me what I need.
There's such a thing as plant life. All right.
What animal has the highest IQ?
What animal?
Yeah. Chimpanzee. But it doesn't give me a number.
All right, hang on.
Is plant life conscious?
What is the IQ of plant life? Okay.
Plant life does not have an IQ. The concept of an intelligence quotient is a measurement designed for human intelligence and not applicable to plants.
Well, that's a pretty antiseptic response.
I'm going to go with 75, and I'm going to say that if there are 330 people listening, because it ain't 100. It's not 100 IQ. What's 100, connote on the IQ scale?
That's probably about average.
I bet you I'm about, teachers would tell you this of mine from high school, I bet you I'm about a 92 of an IQ. 90, 92.
You're probably not that high now, but maybe back in the day.
He's the dumbest athlete you've ever been around, John. You thought to yourself, how does this person?
Oh my gosh!
Literally.
Oh my gosh!
Tie their shoes. How do they tie their shoes?
Oh my gosh! There was a. Gosh.
All right, we love you. We appreciate you.
I'll tell you off the air.
G to the B to the O, and take Don DeVoe. We appreciate you. Peace.